Hello, everyone. This is Bernie Burns. Hey, I am Jeff Ramsey. Gussarola. Joel Heyman.
And now it's a podcast.
That's all. I want to hear that podcast.
Was that Kathleen doing all the voices?
No, it was someone on the site and his quote-unquote friends.
Was that one girl? It sounded like one girl with her voice.
It was the user. The user who made this podcast is red_design on the site, and he said he had four of his female friends do the voices.
See, everyone would rather hear that podcast
than this one, right?
Why can't I see Joel? Where are you, Joel?
I don't know. I'm here.
I got like nothing on you.
Nothing?
What's that paired to?
Maybe I broke the mic.
Do you have Bernie?
I can hear him through my headphones.
Yeah. You hear him on the other channels.
Roy.
Gav?
Hello,
You
ladies.
did fuck this up. How did you fuck this up?
Hello, my name's Gavin, and I like to fuck up the podcast.
Okay, hold on. Take your headphones off.
Your rice is cooking?
Yeah?
How long does that usually take?
I don't know. It'll be done soon, though.
I'm working with the guy.
Wanna do bad?
Oh, you're just starting
Let's see. No, we'll keep going.
Is it going?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when you see if the steam coming out the top, if the steam's coming out the top, then it's cooking. It's working.
So now my mic is working.
Yes, now your mic is working.
Now my
Well,
microphone
then
is
everyone
working.
was
Hello.
denied the great commentary that I had.
I
I'm
like.
sure they picked it up in the other mics.
I was just saying.
How
that
did I
after-
wire it up wrong?
I have no idea.
You've wired a lot of things up wrong.
Your brain's fucking wired wrong.
I mean, we talked about your...
That was unnecessary.
Hey,
His ball sack got crossed.
It's true. Gus.
No. I was just saying, the girls at the beginning, everyone would rather hear that podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Than our podcast.
Yeah, totally.
It could be an hour of girls giggling.
Let's not give any competitors potential ideas.
All right.
Why don't we have a little bit of confidence in the product that we put out there, Joel?
Because have you heard us?
No, I have.
Have you met us?
I wouldn't say we put the product out there as it's so much it like slides off our computer. It's like it's
sound
not very
great.
polished.
I mean, have you met it? We're jerks.
It
Who
just-
would want
it
to
just
listen
somehow
to
gets
four
released.
fat, ugly jerks talk about their fat, ugly stupidness,
Hey,
and one stupid gay guy from Europe?
that's not
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Who's the fourth jerk if we have the gay guy from Europe?
do I count as fat, ugly, and gay? Or
we're all just.
I have a bone to pick with you, Gus.
I have no.
Uh-oh,
See,
what
I
is it?
shouldn't say that was bad. I said that.
My bone
You're
is
fine, Joel. You
when
shut up.
the hell are you going to play an intro with my name on it on a podcast that I'm actually on?
Oh, I should find one of those.
He
Shouldn't
doesn't
I?
really do a lot of research into the intros.
Yeah, this
because
one was
there are
like,
always people
ooh.
that aren't on it.
Ooh, girls. This one.
After I left last time, the next 10 podcasts had my name. I was in England.
Let's be honest, Gus. It's not ooh girls. It's ooh next one in the list.
Yeah, this is more like it.
But that was a good one.
Was it?
I thought it was great.
Let's take a vote. No, it loses. It was not a good one.
That was
it
a
was
very
great.
quick
Hey,
vote.
we got a gift today.
I just hope. Look, let's be honest. The guy got together 4 of his female friends to record an intro, and now we've used it. I hope it worked.
Yes.
That's all I'm
He's
gonna
gonna
say.
get-
I hope his little plan, everything worked out fine.
He's
for
I
gonna
him.
mean,
have-
he only
he's
got
gonna-
them on the most popular video game podcast on iTunes with over 3 million downloads a month.
He's gonna have sex with 4 girls.
If he had, really, I would take odds on that. But if he had given us their names, then we could have said their names too.
Yeah.
So you amateurs out there, pay
And
attention.
if he had sent pictures, we could have put them in the link dump.
He didn't use himself, so that's interesting. So the guy got together 4 of his friends.
I think it was just one, and it sounded like he acoustically.
Oh, really?
changed it. To me, I could be wrong.
I
I
gotta,
think
I'll
he
reread
used,
the email.
he used CGI.
That would make sense for a podcast.
It would.
That makes total sense.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about the gift?
Yeah,
Smarter move would be to use the one girl and use her 4 times. That's a concentrated
Shut up.
effort.
Nobody would do that.
I think he did it. I agree with Joel. I thought it was the same girl. It sounded like Kathleen to me.
I think it was the same girl. Yeah,
We'll have to find out.
it didn't sound like Kathleen to me though.
It was obviously the same.
when
girl.
was that submitted?
Oh, like December 2010?
Oh wow. So that's the guy's plan, right? Am we right? Are we being honest here?
He's got the long play
Yeah.
going.
well, no, he didn't think he would sit on it for so long.
I mean, every guy's plan. I mean, it's all about
Yes.
the plan. I mean,
Yes.
if you're going out and buying a cheeseburger, somehow that's part of the plan. Everything that a guy
Not
is
a great
doing,
part of the plan,
Not,
but yeah.
not all plans are great, but I mean, let's face it, right? It's all just
Wait,
one
wait,
big long
I
plan.
I went and bought Jack a cheeseburger today. Did he take that the wrong
that
way?
was
Maybe
part of somebody's plan.
Should I not have done that?
Somebody's plan. I mean, that's the only reason
What plans have you made today, Joel?
I haven't made any plans.
You've got a cup of Starbucks coffee.
I do have a cup of Starbucks coffee, and I'm back in the cycle with coffee where I ordered the giant venti, and I was like, oh, we're going to do a podcast. I'm going to load up on caffeine.
Great.
And then we didn't do it in the morning. And now
Yes,
I'm
you're
like,
probably as happy about that as I am.
Yeah, awesome.
you guys are fucking ecstatic.
Hey, what are you
I
looking
think
at there?
I think you met this guy in Australia. He took this picture.
Yeah, and he made friends with me on Facebook and immediately tagged that photo of me with those two attractive young models from his booth.
Do you think that those girls were the voices? No, they
Maybe.
weren't, because they didn't have an accent.
Oh, that's the guy who submitted it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are girls. Yeah.
No, they don't have an accent.
It doesn't matter if they don't have an accent.
Those girls are from New Zealand. In New Zealand, they have accents.
Everyone has an accent, Joel.
A New Zealand accent. Do I have to...
Wait, Australia.
Yes,
Australia,
that
New
was
Zealand. It's the same thing. It's the same accent.
That was from our event at Melbourne.
That bothers me. You'd always say Melbourne, but just say Melbourne.
Melbourne.
You got to play to the audience, man.
Edinburgh.
Do you know the capital
Of what?
of Australia?
The capital of Australia is Adelaide.
Is it?
I don't think
No,
so.
it's not.
No,
Okay,
I
I just want to say that with confidence.
It's
Is it Perth? I'm going to go with Perth.
I think it's Canberra.
It's
Not
Canberra.
fucking
It is?
Perth.
It is.
Canberra?
yeah,
Cambria?
fuck yeah.
Gus is right.
Who's ever heard of that city?
I know. That's
Obviously,
not,
I have.
everyone always says Sydney or Adelaide or
I've
whatever you said.
never even heard of that city.
Adelaide is a place in Australia.
I'm looking it up just so I can be like,
Get this.
I'm also smart.
Gus went skiing when he was down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upside down skiing.
I cannot imagine Gus skiing.
Well done, Gus. High
It was-
five.
Yeah, what was
knowledge.
that? What was that process like for you?
So we went, the first time we ever went to Australia was like in, I want to say the summer of 04. It was summer for us, it was winter for them. We went down there. We were there for an event at Acme, the Australian Center for the Moving Image. And the first night we were there, we went to this party, this mixer that was actually at the Acme event, at the Acme Center. And we met a bunch of people. We met this one girl who was like, "Oh, is your first time in Australia?" Jeff and I were like, "Yeah, it's our first time here." She said, "All right, we're going skiing tomorrow." I was like, "What?" She goes, yeah. I'll pick you guys up like 5 in the morning. We're just going to drive to the mountain. We're going to go skiing. Like, we never even met this person. She never met us. We could have fucking killed her. And she drove
Or
us.
she could have killed
Or she could,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
more like
we got in the car with her. She drove us like 4 hours out of Melbourne to
4 hours.
to some mountain. I want to say it was Mount Buller.
That's my right before you even
Let's
get to
ski.
that. That's like my worst nightmares. Like, what if you don't get along with a stranger and then you're trapped in a car with them for 4 hours?
Yeah, and then we spent the night
Oh.
at that cabin, like out on the mountain as
What's
well.
the chance that Gus wouldn't get along with a stranger? What's the possibility
What
of
are the
that
odds?
happening?
We're also idiots because we were driving up there
Like-
and it wasn't snowing when we got there, but there were signs on the side of the road that said put snow tires on. It's like, all right, I guess we got to put snow tires on. So we pulled over and put snow tires on the car, even though we didn't need
Wait a
it.
minute, snow tires or chains?
Chains, sorry, snow chains
Okay,
on.
that makes more. See, we just almost had a
Yeah.
tire.
I don't know what that
and
bit you just said.
so apparently we were driving down the road and it
We
was just
almost had
sparking
a-
everywhere, picking gravel up off the road.
We almost had a headlight fluid.
someone had
moment.
to someone had to pull us over and tell us to take the chains off because we were destroying the road.
That's not gravel, yeah. That's actual asphalt being ripped out of the road.
yeah.
Yeah, chains are not good for. They're not healthy for your car or the road or anything. Really. They're just a terrible
Snow chains have not been used in a horror movie. I haven't seen that yet because
because they're used in real life.
a tire with snow chains on is pretty brutal.
Have you seen that movie that's streaming on Netflix?
Yes.
I think it's called Rubber. It's about the
Oh, yeah,
killer
so I saw that,
tire
yeah.
that goes.
I like that. It
I
was
want to
good.
watch it, but like the description on it sounds so ridiculous.
It was a little bit like
Show the trailer for it.
it's sort of like a good performance artist piece almost. The thing, it was funny. I did watch this movie, and it's like the unfortunate thing is I feel like if had the movie been an hour instead of like an hour and a half, it would have been better. They had too much.
But you can't make me an hour movie. And put
Has
it
there
on
ever been a
DVD.
good hour-long movie? Does that ever happen?
There's a lot of movies that are good hour long that should be an hour long that should
If
not be.
I recall correctly, the original Toy Story is 72 minutes long.
Yeah, it's pretty short. Rubber is a 2010 French comedy film about a
it French?
tire that comes to life and kills people with its psychic powers.
Had to be French.
Why wouldn't you watch that
It was
immediately?
directed and written by Quentin Dupieux. The film was shown at the 2010 Cannes Film Festival.
It had some really good scenes in it.
I would like to correct my previous statement. The runtime of Toy Story is 81 minutes, so just shy.
Rubber is 82 minutes.
So they got a full extra minute of narrative.
Wasn't that old Jim Carrey movie Master of Disguise? Wasn't that like 65 minutes or 70 minutes?
I've never even heard of
Jim?
that.
That was.
I'm sorry. Dana Carvey. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Master of Disguise.
Yeah, it was like a super short movie.
Really?
I'd pay. I don't care. If the movie's going to be better, if the story's going to be better,
Oh.
in less time, I'm good with that.
I'm all for that as well. I don't want extra length just to pad it out.
I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time.
And clip.
I tried
Like
to
this thing could be 3 minutes long. Really, if we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Master of Disguise is 80 minutes long. I tried to watch Tree of Life on the way back from San Francisco the other day. And
I think a lot of people would describe it as that way. I tried to watch The Tree of Life.
Tree of Life's like 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
I got 20 minutes in, which I feel like should be an achievement.
Uh-huh.
It was a bizarre
Who won Best Picture?
movie.
The
Best
artist.
Picture is the artist.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it was like stock footage or transitional scenes cut from other movies. It was like just long shots of a beach.
It did have that
Or-
reused shot that they put in Transformers with the car.
I'm sure it was in there eventually, and with just like weird narration with very little actual on-screen dialogue.
And at 20 minutes, you're like, that's it, I can't handle it.
Yeah, I kept wondering. I kept waiting for the movie to start.
So if
Maybe it just
Here.
wasn't for me. Maybe I didn't get it.
I don't think we're going to get any spoilers here. I have also seen about the first 20 minutes. Let's try to describe together what happens in the first 10 minutes. So, Sean Penn is in an elevator,
Well, you lost me at Sean Penn.
and then Brad Pitt's in a different time. He's in an earlier time
Yes.
period,
He's like in the 50s.
50s, and he's got kids, and they're walking a picnic, like picking up the kids, and then there's a waterfall.
No, and yes, there's a waterfall, and then there's a telegram.
I don't remember the telegram.
The telegram gets there, and then Brad Pitt's wife starts crying,
Yes.
and then there's only one kid.
And then Sean
No.
Penn is in the elevator,
Right.
again. And then you're in space. I made it to space. Did you get into space?
So
I did
wait,
not make it to
you
space.
didn't,
made
you didn't make it
further
through the
than
whole
I did.
movie either?
I got it to nebulas, and then I was like,
How far is that in?
I don't know.
It must be just over 20 minutes.
I was
then.
afraid I fell asleep and
Let
like
me-
the Earth collapsed.
Let me ask you this question. Do you feel like there was a great payoff? I mean, it's hard to say, but do you think they were going somewhere? Were they leading into something? There's a great payoff for all this stuff? Or?
Joel, I honestly
Don't know?
I honestly have no idea.
Huh.
I would be the guy in the Emperor's New Clothes, like the guy at the party, like, going, "What's happening? Why is everyone naked?"
So is
I wouldn't have enough wherewithal to pretend along with everyone else. I don't know what happened in that movie.
is it actually clips of different movies, or is it?
No, that's just what it seems like.
Okay.
Just watch it. I mean, it's
I don't want to.
Well, yeah,
You'll get the feeling in the first 5 minutes. You don't have to sit 20 minutes like I did.
I've got the feeling already.
that'd be a great like quote for the poster. Watch it. I don't want to.
I wonder if
How do you print with trepidation and fear?
how do you print in a British accent?
God, I just use Old English font.
Did it win any awards?
I don't know. Did it win the cinematography thing? No.
But it got nominated.
Cinematography was Hugo.
If it got nominated, it must have some sort of redeeming. Something must have been going on.
Can I ask, what is the deal with Sean Penn? What's the big deal about Sean Penn?
He's a great actor.
Is he?
You don't think so?
What's he been in?
I think
that's
he's a good actor. Yeah, I mean, he's a good actor.
I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
I like him in everything I've seen him in.
I think I've just seen him interviewed more than I've seen him in films, and he
I
comes
just-
across as douche.
Oh, look at you.
I just, I guess sometimes when, and this is I don't know who might say anything about anybody really, but
Do it. Say stuff.
I don't know. Sometimes when they get a little political, that's sort of a turnoff to me. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, that's
I could
it.
see that.
Well, it's only when they're political in the other way, right?
No, either way.
Oh, really? At all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it must be
I
a
don't
real
know.
treat for you, Gavin, to be in the United States in 2012, the
Yeah.
year we're going to have a presidential election.
you know, I was
and
actually here
the
when he
primaries.
was inaugurated.
Oh,
When,
yeah.
when who was inaugurated?
Inaugurated.
The president.
Who was that?
He's Obama.
Who's our
Have you-
vice
have you-
president?
have
Do you know
you-
who our vice president is?
Biden.
That's correct.
That's pretty
I
good.
thought you were going to say the Jack in the Box guy.
I couldn't name the vice president of England.
I can't even name what country.
Who's the
England
vice
is.
queen?
Okay, well, no, this is actually great. This
It's
is actually
Meryl
great.
Meryl Streep now.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
So-
she won the.
Honorary.
So, explain to us, why do you have a royal family? Like, what do they do? This is 2012.
Why don't the
I'll
people
tell
just go
you-
take their stuff?
I'll tell you exactly what they do.
Because they make a great reality TV show.
Yeah, that'd be good. They don't pay tax. That's what they do.
They don't pay taxes.
No, they don't. Why would they? They're the royal family. They are ordained by God.
I don't think she needs a passport either. The queen.
You mean only to get back into the UK? She needs a passport to get into other countries.
No.
Why don't
she
why
doesn't.
don't all of you guys just sort
She's
of
the damn queen.
Listen to
Okay,
me.
I'm looking this
Just
up.
listen
I'm
to me.
coming.
All of you guys get together.
I want to be king if I can do that.
I
just
know.
get together and just go take your stuff back. Just go get together.
Just take a
your
chair.
stuff back.
Like
Gus,
a
why
clock.
would you look that up? Let's say she does have a passport. Who the fuck is going to check it?
Well, she
She's the
doesn't have a
Queen
last
of
name
England.
for a start.
Well, no. I mean,
What'd you say? She doesn't have a last name?
She's just the queen, Queen Elizabeth. I mean, you could say Windsor is her last name, but that's where she lived, isn't it? They don't have a last name.
Yeah? No, I don't know. I don't understand
Yeah,
it.
well,
I really have no knowledge of
Hey,
this.
so Prince William, what's his last name?
Princeton. Well, what was Diana's last name before she got married?
Charles? Prince Charles?
Prince Charles what?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Man, how old would Diana be today if she was
I
alive?
imagine late 40s.
No, late 40s. She'd be like 60. At
Oh,
this
would she?
point.
Oh,
She wouldn't be
I'd-
that old, would
She would be 60.
Get out of here.
Oh,
Shut up.
maybe 52 or something.
Hey, did you hear?
54
Have you heard of a site called InTrade?
No?
InTrade is a site where you can go and
This is the worst segue ever.
gamble on like who's going to win the presidency or who's going to
Oh,
win
yeah, just
like
like
nominations or whatever.
stuff in the world. You
yeah,
just
yeah.
gamble it.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that is awesome. So we got a present after podcast 153, where we were talking about baths and how you dry yourself. If you have a method, someone, I guess the user on the site named Fallout, sent us butt face towels.
I love you, Fallout.
So they're essentially towels that are colored 2 different colors, and one side in big letters says butt, the other side in big letters says face.
The butt side is brown, while the face side is white.
That's another good way to indicate which side you should be using.
I made a joke about if you share the towel with your loved one, who got which side.
Yeah, just you give them the butt side.
You can make the butt
What
side.
about the knob side?
What do you mean share a towel with your loved one? Do you guys dry off at the same time? Is that something that people
Maybe
do?
you're very lazy and you just you
Pick up
dry
a
off
wet
the
towel.
towel.
So
and
when you
put
say
the towel,
share a towel, do you mean literally at the same time you dry off together? Like this is some romantic thing that you do?
why not?
Have you done that?
Probably.
You've dried off with one towel at the same time as
It's
another
for the
person.
environment.
I've never done that.
For the environment.
I want to see
You're
this
saving
towel. Are we
towels.
unfolding this? Oh, it's actually like 2
I'm
towels.
sorry to say it's quite thin.
Oh.
It didn't look very thin.
It's funny. Like they gave us like you when you work on a set, they give you like towels or whatever as like a gift at Christmas or whatever. And these towels were terrible. They were like they'd like spray paint on like letters or whatever, and so it was like.
They would spray paint letters onto a towel?
Yeah, it was just like the worst. Like
Is
you
that
couldn't.
Holiday
They
Inn?
were like
just
using
like-
sandpaper.
Well,
surely.
like they
It was like
spray paint
sandpaper.
on
It was
it.
like sandpaper. Yeah, it didn't look good. It didn't
No,
feel
what were they
good.
spray painting on the
Though, like the
towels?
words of the show that was on, like Criminal Minds. We had Criminal Minds towels. It was
They
like
had to
Criminal
spray paint
Minds. It felt like spray paint. It was just like
They stenciled
it
them.
didn't look good. They stenciled them. It didn't look
Silk
good. It didn't
screen
feel
a
good.
towel.
Like what's the point of this?
What is the point of it? What a terrible gift.
Wait. How do we go from spray painting to silk screening? I'm lost.
Well, I'm assuming he just doesn't know the word silk screening. I'm going to go on a limb and just assume that. Diana was born in 1961. Today she would be 52 years old.
I wasn't far off.
So you weren't. Late 40s to 52 is not far.
But you were way wrong.
What did I say? I said she'd
You
be 60.
you said like 60. Yeah.
Dude, she was young.
There's a big difference between 50 and 60.
Did you know there was a guy in that crash who survived?
The
Yeah,
driver.
3 people died. I think the driver died, didn't he?
Are you sure?
Go ahead. I don't know.
But there was
So
one.
wait. There was 4 people in the car.
There was 4 people in the car, and one person lived.
Really?
And
Oh, was it the bodyguard?
I don't know. But imagine being the person who survived that crash. That'd be crazy. He also had to have his face, like the front of his skull, reconstructed from photos because it was smashed in so bad.
That sucks.
That's
It's
a
a good thing that you wouldn't want to be the driver and survive that because it was a driver.
The driver was drunk, wasn't he?
They were running away from. How do you say it?
The paparazzi.
Paparazzi, and they were in a tunnel in Paris, right? And
Yeah.
they clipped a pillar and
hit a
smashed
pillar
the
in
car.
Yeah, she was messed
Oh,
up.
here's a good trivia question for you. Who was Diana dating and who was in the car with her? Who was the name of the gentleman she was dating? Not for you guys.
He was
Probably
at.
know
He was an Arab guy, right?
it. Yeah.
I it's on the tip of my tongue. Can I make a guess? It's
Sure.
Like
Do it.
Fodi or Dofi? Fayed.
Yeah. Fayette. That sounds right.
You're close. It was
Delphi-
Dodi Fayed.
Dodi Fayed.
Correct?
Was it not Al Fayed?
Al Fayed?
Was it?
Dodi
Was
Al
it?
Fayed?
No, maybe you're right.
Al is a term of respect, right? Isn't the
I don't know.
added to names like Sir?
I'm not, wherever he was from.
Okay.
Okay.
Man, I have no idea why that's like even in the recesses of my mind. Even though I didn't know it, I was kind of close.
I think he was the
That's
son
bad.
he's the son of a billionaire or something. That guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was right.
Imad Eldin Mohammed Abdel Monemel Fayed. I didn't say, known as also as Dodi. He was an
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Probably.
Egyptian film producer.
Wow.
Egyptian film producer.
Yep. That was
haven't seen-
1997 that Diana died.
Wow, it's a long time ago.
Yeah. And this, I mean, her kids are like grown up and getting married now and everything like that.
Everyone was crying that day.
I
Just
remember when it
people in
happened.
Tears, just everyone.
God,
I was like, what
it's
is going
funny.
on?
I mean, it's funny. It just so like wasn't on my radar. I
Did
don't
you
know.
just completely miss that altogether?
Yeah, I guess I just
Maybe you had
didn't
a
care. I
cold. You were
just
taking a nap.
just didn't care. I just
Took
don't
some
care about it.
NyQuil.
It seems like so
Just don't
periphery.
care about.
Woke up a couple days later.
I mean, I don't know. It just seems like sometimes like when somebody who I guess is it's supposed to be important dies. It's like the major media and everybody's got to throw up their hands like it's the greatest, whereas like a lot of great, fantastic people who no one knows about, they die or whatever. And it's just, I don't know. Seems, I don't know.
It's very unbalanced depending on the media, isn't it? Like there are much greater people who have died. It's just like,
the media is just like, hey, we get ratings.
She was pretty great.
I guess. What did she do?
She did loads of stuff.
She was great. No, she was considered a commoner even though she came from a high society family, right? Wasn't that the big deal about it?
I'm not saying she's a bad person or anything like that, but it's like
the Brit shows up on the podcast and we have a Princess Diana.
The title of this drunk tank is the drunk tank.
It's a good thing we had the all ladies intro for the royalty.
I want to get to the bottom of that.
Podcast.
So she was big. If I recall correctly, her big issue was landmines.
I think so also.
And she was trying to get rid of all the landmines from all these wars where they just put landmines in the ground and kids would fucking step on them.
Yeah.
Just walking along and stepping on a goddamn landmine.
What, from like wars that had ended ages ago.
Yeah.
That's always been a big problem.
Yeah.
I think it's big like in Southeast Asia where like after Vietnam and Cambodia and a lot of places like that, they just deploy the mines and then of course you don't pick them up.
Right.
I shot some mines with a slow-mo camera, the ones that like leap out of the ground and explode. At, like,
Jeez, did you really?
Face level.
Like a bouncing Betty? Is that what they're called?
I think a bouncing Betty used to bounce along the water, didn't it? Into like dams and stuff.
Well,
Or
in
maybe
Call
I'm
of
wrong.
Duty,
Oh,
when I
you
unlocked
might
the
be right
bouncing
then.
Betty.
But they just like sort of spring up into the air. It's like right in your face.
So how high do they
Maximizing
go?
them.
They go up to your face? I thought they only went to like knee level.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we weren't using like actual ones from the time. They were like recreated ones, so maybe
That must have been.
But they came pretty high.
I thought they went knee level to like maim you and not kill you.
What would be the point?
Because then it takes some additional manpower to drag a wounded person away.
I'd just be going around.
The science of military stuff
Yeah,
is
it's-
fucking horrible. It really is. It's like, how can we hurt you as badly as possible, but not kill you? So that it takes up 3 people as opposed. You shoot somebody, they die, it's 1 person off the battlefield. You shoot the guy, have him go down screaming.
That way you get
3 people have to go off the battlefield to cart the guy off.
You get those guys
and to
too,
moralize everybody else. It's horrifying.
They talked about
Horrifying.
like uranium-enriched tank shells that we have. And basically, a uranium-enriched tank shell, you're supposed to hit another tank with it, obviously.
Right.
And then the uranium basically gets injected into the inside of the other tank, where it then liquefies everything.
So the tank's fine, but everything inside is just melted.
Well, the tank's pretty fucked up,
okay.
but people on the inside are liquid at the end of that
Nope.
process.
Wait. Is that what the uranium stuff is? I thought uranium encased bullets were for harder bullets.
These are artillery shells that I'm talking about.
I think
for
you might be
M1A1s.
thinking about something else.
I think-
it's
I think-
molten steel. In
Yeah, I
there.
think there's I don't think it's the uranium that melts. I think it's like another metal that actually like.
In
melts.
any
But
case,
regardless, you are
not good.
going to get coated with liquid metal.
It's also like that phosphorus stuff, which is like our new version of napalm, which is just it's frightening. Yeah, frightening.
So do we go like super macho to make up for the princess talk?
Yeah, we did. We went to military theory. Yeah, another the tank weapon you're talking about. It's basically like a giant syringe is the missile, and it hits the side of the tank, pierces it, and then collapses into the side of the tank, which basically acts as that syringe action, and it just injects like molten metal inside the tank. It's just
amazing how
a
like,
bad day.
the science of coming up with stuff just to ruin human bodies.
Right, but you know
Terrible.
what? I read an article that was linked on Reddit. We pale in comparison to the motherfuckers from the Middle Ages and the stuff that they
Oh
came up
God, I
with.
watched that. I read that one also.
It was awful. It was just like one of the top ones on there that I saw was they would hang someone upside down by their feet. And they would use those those lumberjack 2-man saws that are the big band saw. And they would just saw down the middle of their pelvis.
The reason they put them upside down was so the blood would rush to the brain, and they
So
would
they'd feel
they'd
everything?
be in
Keep
more
it
pain.
alive.
They said they would
stay alive longer.
they could get to the stomach before most people passed out or died.
Yeah, that stuff was horrible. Like the drawn and quartering, is that what
Yeah,
it's called? With the
yeah.
horses, where you tie a
That
horse
was
to
one
each
of the
limb,
things. That was one of the things.
and you send a horse in each
like it.
direction.
Yep.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
It was
stuff.
awful. I mean, any of those devices. Were
It was a
just-
lot easier back then to keep the people in place, probably.
right. I would believe in anything if you showed me any of those devices. I'd be
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like when they're gonna,
That's
they
great.
show you the instruments of your demise.
Yeah, it's
or
like, oh yeah,
whatever.
the Earth's totally flat.
No, yeah,
hell yeah.
I'll say whatever you need. I'll say whatever you need me to say. I'm really. We can work this out.
Yeah, we can.
we can figure
guys,
this out.
Let's talk
we can
this
figure out a
through.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna go back to my
I mean, really,
Yeah,
if
grass roofed hut.
Yeah, go King.
No,
I'm
I mean,
gonna go farm some pigs.
I would probably
farm some
fold.
pigs. I'm gonna go farm something.
Go
would
rake some mud. Whatever they did.
I'd probably fold within the first 20 minutes to show me the tree movie. I mean, once you
modern version of that.
got to the tree movie, that's it. The world's flat. Whatever you need me to say.
Imagine if there was a way for you to kill yourself with your mind.
What does that mean?
It's like because people have to
people
who want to kill themselves, they can't. Like you
See,
can't.
this is something that you'd say to
No,
somebody
no.
who's on drugs.
Why would you interrupt him saying this? Please keep going.
But like you can't kill yourself.
With your mind.
You could, I mean, there's no.
Well, I
off-button.
bet you could.
You can't even suffocate yourself. You can't even like not breathe to death.
Well,
you
you're
just
not.
pass out. And
You're just
start
not.
breathing
You're just
again.
not trying hard enough.
Oh,
Yeah, but wait a second. Okay, so you're saying what if you could mentally
Kill yourself.
if you
decide
were like-
to die?
if
I'm
you
going to
were
decide to die.
well, you get all these people like jumping in front of trains. It's like that's a lot of effort to go to. I mean, what if it? What if it just clipped you? You'd be in pieces, and it'd be like,
You'd be maimed. That'd be the worst thing.
oh my god! Did I tell you about the guy I met when I was filming trains crashing into stuff?
I don't like where this is going.
This is great. I was
Sound correct.
I was once working on Top Gear, and they crashed a train through a car in slow mo just to see, what would happen. And I was talking to a guy who was like a normal-looking guy, and I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" He worked for National Rail, which is like the main railway service in the UK. And he was like, "I just clear blockages on the tracks and just pick up the people that pop." And I was like, "What are you on about?" He's like, "Well, when someone jumps in front of a fast-moving train,
How often does that happen?
it happens quite a lot, and people just sort of explode into pieces." And he was telling me about this one time.
How much
where-
does he get paid?
What difference does that
I'm
make?
curious. I want to know.
So
Well, you picked the least relevant part of the story.
That's relevant to me.
So this guy, his job was to.
Is it based on how many pieces he picks up?
That's the point. He has to go and like
He gets paid by the pound.
He has to pick up like all of the pieces because when they do the autopsy, they need all of the bits from that site. And
Gavin,
apparently, people go everywhere.
You have to pick up all the pieces because it's a person.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't need that rule.
What do you say?
So remind me, Gavin, how many pieces make up the human body?
Shut up. Right. So, he was telling me about this one time where it was a fast-moving train. This guy was everywhere. I mean, you couldn't really tell what was what, but he couldn't find the head anywhere. Like, they had a team of like 4 people. They got all the limbs and stuff. They're piling it into these bags.
It turns out it was on top of his head the whole time. He just didn't.
How can your head be on?
Glasses.
So basically, like they got all they could. They cleared up all the mess. They did the autopsy. And they never found the head.
Like,
And
why
then-
are they doing an autopsy?
They're trying to see
like,
why
what
he
killed
died.
him?
They're trying to see,
What
like-
killed him? Well, we think the train might have killed him, but we
is
have
it
to
like-
make sure. He's by the train tracks. There's a million pieces. What is it? Is this where your tax dollars are going? Trying to unravel the
Think about
mystery
it.
of.
Think about it. Like if you murdered someone, that'd be a good way to. If they didn't do autopsy, it'd be a good way to get rid of the body. You shoot someone in the head, throw them in front of a train.
Right.
Done.
They have
But
to
how
find
many
out-
people?
they have
How
to
many
find out the
people
cause
are
of
there
death.
chopping people up into a million pieces to try and make it? If
There is a guy driving
If
the
somebody,
train.
if
too,
somebody,
that's gonna see you.
if somebody is going to the trouble of like, I'm going to chop this dude up into 75 pieces and throw him by the train tracks, you've won. Just let that guy go.
So they see if there's like drugs in the system and stuff like that. So they were cutting this guy up.
They're not in the system anymore.
What
Out of the system.
What system?
So what
Out of his
happened?
bloodstream. So the guys doing the autopsy.
blood?
The guys doing the autopsy cut him open, and they noticed where his neck had been severed.
Oh fuck! Here we
They
go.
noticed a load of hair, and it turned out
Yeah, great.
that
They
this
got
guy,
injected.
this guy had stood on the train tracks, bent over forwards. The train had hit him in the top of the head and knocked his skull into his rib cage. And they
What
found his
the
head
fuck?
in his chest.
Oh my god.
So did they
Conductor
think?
didn't see that.
So did they think that?
Conductor was like, "You should look in the chest. I think that might be where his head is."
Did they think that is what maybe killed him?
That was the
But
cause of death.
oh, apparently the cause of death was his head getting smashed into his body. See, now we've unraveled the mystery of how he died.
I just like the idea of a board certified doctor sitting in a morgue looking at a body that's been hit by a train, but it's missing the head, and he goes, "Well, I can't work. I don't know. How can I be sure what killed this person?"
Cause of death unknown.
Yeah, it's
they find-
unknown. Open case. we gotta leave this one open, folks.
Let's investigate it.
It's like I found a pair of glasses on top of the head that is injected inside the body.
Did you hear that the actor who played Mr. Kruger on Seinfeld tried to commit suicide, shot himself in the head and lived, and then had to call 911?
No, that's
It makes me like what you talked about, like killing yourself mentally.
like-
Why
Make
do
sure.
we get? Wow, we are in a real trend lately where we're really getting into this stuff. Like
Well,
I've noticed this. Like the
yeah.
past couple
I gotta
weeks.
say, I've noticed that too.
Why? It's him. It's the English.
I'm bringing in my Brit.
Well,
Did you listen to those episodes? We were talking about stuff like that.
I think the needle swung from the British royal family and
well, I
Princess
thought, yeah, it was getting a bit sort of
Flowery.
hairy-fairy, and then I just bought
Harry Fairy. Is that a saying in the UK?
It is now.
Okay.
So I want to go back to Gavin's notion that you could kill yourself by thinking about it.
Well,
Like,
what it would be like, if you have to the end of Alien, she has to blow up the ship. There's a lot of procedures to go through, like pushing all those things. It'd be like that. You'd have to really want to do it, and you'd have to unlock certain things
Like,
in
you'd
your
be
brain,
like,
and then you
I-
could just be like, yes,
Dear brain, I want to die. And the brain's like, are you sure? And you're like, yes. And it's like, okay.
push these 3 buttons.
confirmation.
Dying in 3 seconds.
Think about these 3 things at once.
You have to like twist your right nipple. Or something.
Maybe that's what it is. Like, you have to think about 3 things. Like, if you ever think of, like, I don't know,
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it.
orange monkey eagle. Oh, I'm dead.
It could exist, and it just exists. The combination could be different for different people. How would we know? Because people die, and like, well, how did he die?
Well,
It's
I
like,
mean, you
he
can't-
thought about the
It would
orange
suck if
monkey.
you
I don't
saw
wanna
an
get-
orange monkey eagle just out and about. And,
I don't want to get like there is a way for the mind to kill itself, and I don't want to get metaphysical about it. But all the mind has to do is go, "Hey, there's a knife. I'm going to stick it in my
but you're
face."
using, exterior
That's
tools.
sort of medical.
No, but I think what he's saying is, like, if you're
I know what he's saying.
bound and unable to do anything.
I like Joel's brain voice. Hey, there's
There's a knife. Stick it in you.
Look at me.
It's funny because I hear that voice all the time, but mostly it's like, "Hey, there's a knife.
hey,
Stick
there's
it
a
to
door.
Bernie."
Go through the door.
Coffee. Pour Coke in it.
So wait, you've been,
Hey,
Joel, you've been
hey,
looking at a
there's
knife.
Bernie. Run him over."
Feed me Sprite and Coke and coffee and water.
Let's wake up and have fun.
Let's share towels.
You guys are way too fucking happy about this.
It's like the idea of your brain. It's just not like that your brain would have a voice and instruct you like you're under remote control.
Are you saying you've actually been staring at a knife and thought, I could?
No,
Jab it into Bernie. Yes.
It is actually amazing how close insanity can be. I mean, have you ever just been like holding a massive
No.
knife and you just think, I could just go mental.
Well,
I'm
no.
not going
the
to. but
answer
it's
is
like,
no, because I mean, if you look statistically,
So
how
you've
many
never-
how many people do that? Not many.
Well, that's the thing. They always say like,
But you could, but the potential is
because
high.
people are quitters.
People are quitters.
it is hard to like. It is hard. There's like a line across where you'd have to do that. You know, I mean, it's harder than you think. I mean, you see people all the time. It's like you don't see them all the
You're
time.
only one decision away from doing it, though.
one
I think
decision
it's
away.
more than one decision. I'm
Knife.
gonna argue
It's
you have
like,
to make more than one decision
I've
to do
got a
it.
knife. Do I stab Gus? No. But I could have thought, yes, one decision. Right,
No.
no, but
I'm not giving you any more rides home, by the way. You are not allowed in my car.
I'm not going out to eat with you.
You are a fucking
I'll just be
psychopath.
looking at the steering wheel. Oncoming traffic? No. Won't do it.
Man, I got to tell you, I've been playing a little bit of Saints Row 3 lately.
Oh, great game.
You should never drive after playing those games because
Yeah.
Was it
I
something to
mean,
do with the physics?
it makes you crazy. Like there's a whole.
It's like I noticed in the game, I want to get from point A to point B. Here I go.
Yeah.
And I'm just going there, nothing, whatever. I'm just going in that. Yeah, and it's totally true. In real life, I found myself cutting through parking lots.
If you play
It's
enough
just
Saints Row 3, though, eventually you're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to call a helicopter.
Yeah, or I'm just gonna like steer through the pedestrians because there's nobody on the sidewalk.
I kind of freak myself out sometimes when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, especially Grand Theft Auto 4 where there's the bikes and stuff. I will go out of my way to knock someone off a bike in that game. If I have to turn left and I see a bike coming the other way on the right, I'll go and knock him down. And go
Really?
left.
Why? What is
Because
that
it's
about?
funny.
you?
Just something about the physics and the way they come off. Just
Yeah.
He's fucking insane. Aren't you realizing this?
Don't you remember that that's what he does when he plays a co-op or a game like a Halo campaign? And you play a level where all the Marines get off the Pelican with you. The first thing Gavin does is turn around and kill all of his friendly AI.
Why do you do that?
That's just my. We've been through this. It's just my issue with
Have you-
co-op
have you,
AI.
have you-
I don't
have
want
you-
AI on my team.
Have
ever.
you murdered any animals?
in
any
real life?
small animals?
No, I don't even kill a bug, man.
No,
I catch
Because we
spiders and throw them
want
out.
to be ahead of the steps. We
You
want to
gotta put
know
plans
when
in
it's
place.
developing. That's where it starts. It
Find
starts
my
off as
schematics.
friendly AIs in video games. That's the
Yeah.
first step. It's like first somebody kill.
Once he makes the jump to mammals, that's it. I'm
Yeah.
out of here.
No, the best thing about video games are ragdoll physics.
Exactly. I like. Any
you don't
game.
kill the friendly AI. You don't. That's weird.
I always feel
It's
bad.
not. It's not weird.
But goddamn,
You can always restart the
that,
checkpoint.
That friendly AI wants to
not
fucking kill
that.
itself. Like what? I noticed this too. Like when I was playing a different game. It was the Open City, whatever.
Maybe Crackdown.
It was prototype, and it's like you
Okay.
get into a tank, and like people are just going to walk up and stop in front of your tank, and they're freak out in front of your tank. Why are you doing that? Don't walk in front of my tank.
Because it's a tank in the city. I mean, that seems pretty rational to me.
I wouldn't walk in front of one.
I wouldn't walk in front of a tank either. But maybe they turn the corner like, there's a fucking tank here.
There was a guy in San Diego that stole a tank from the army base. Remember that a
That
long
is one
time
of the
ago?
best pieces of video ever.
People-
Guy stole a
That's on
tank.
video.
People were not
real.
flocking to him and being like, "Oh, I'm going to cross the street in front of the tank." There were no people.
A tank
Because
in an
they were-
urban environment was pretty awesome.
So how- was
like a
this-
high-speed chase on the highways that you see. The dude in the front had a tank.
Was he a military guy?
No,
No,
I don't know.
He snuck onto the. I don't know if he
Well,
knew
how
somebody
would he know
there.
how to
He snuck
damn drive it? I wouldn't know how to drive a tank.
He wasn't doing
They,
great.
they
He was
left the
dri-
keys in it.
He was driving through the corners of buildings and like driving through the cement barriers between lanes on the highway. It
Drove
was
through like a
awesome.
Winnebago. That was really satisfying. It's like when you crunch a Coke can. It's just like that satisfying crunch, except for you seeing that on a larger scale.
Oh my god!
I'm showing him the
Why is he
video.
going
When was
backwards?
this?
Is he reversing? Maybe he doesn't.
That's
Oh,
this was a long time ago. It was like 92 or something like that.
So while Gavin is watching this video, I'll tell you about something I read about online, which was apparently Skyrim has all those stats of everything you've done in the game. And there was this thing that a guy posted about going over to his friend's house, and his friend wanted to play Skyrim with him. And I guess is one of the things in Skyrim you have a house.
Yeah, you can get a house.
and then I heard about this, and then he reached over and stabbed his friend.
No, this is close though. So he's playing with his buddy of his on the couch, and they're alone in the apartment or whatever. And he's wandering around his buddy's house in Skyrim, and the house is filled with dead villagers. It's people from the village, and he's killed them all and brought them back to his house.
Can you pick up bodies in the game?
And you can like,
Yeah, you can.
cut off heads and
You know
stuff.
what's funny? Is it in a game environment like that? That makes sense to me. Why not?
See, now,
Get
that-
out
and
of here.
the crazier
And
part-
The
go
crazier
ahead.
part was he looked at the guy's stats. The guy had completed one quest, like one side quest, and he was level 21 in the game, which seems like it would take some time. And he got there just from killing villagers and dragging.
That would be
them.
like a great tool in a script to like discover that your roommate's crazy or whatever.
Yeah, and then that was his final post. Was like, and he invited me over to his house to like play Skyrim with him. It's like, what does that say about what's going to happen to him?
now that is actually right. That is way worse than just shooting an AI Marine who's in your way or has got
Yes,
the gun you want.
but it is on the spectrum.
No, it's not.
You're at this end.
No,
and this
it's
dude's
not.
on this end.
That's
Yo,
like
you-
serial killer stuff.
That's what we're saying.
yes, and you're a smaller version of that.
No, it's not. No, I disagree. They're completely. That'd be weird.
You are
Stockpiling a load of
already
bodies.
going down the path of like, what if I just said yes at this one question?
Here's
My
what's
whole
weird.
destiny
No,
would be
it's the same
changed.
for
It'd be so
anyone.
weird.
Everyone has the inhibitor chip in their mind.
Well, not everybody.
Inhibitor chip.
I don't know.
Where is that? Is that by the thyroid? Or?
It's by the doomsday device where you can kill yourself by thinking about
It's by
it.
the orange eagle monkey or whatever you came up with.
Orange monkey eagle. Get it straight.
Sorry, man.
Do you believe that people can die from despair or sorrow, like that their brain can kill their body?
It's funny because like everyone has to read like Beowulf or something, you know,
Right.
when you're and they're always talking about in the poems of like, oh, she died of wooing or whatever. It's like, what the fuck? You can't die.
Died
of
You're right. That is funny.
Died of wooing.
died of wooing. It's like that doesn't make any fucking sense. But I think
I think you
can.
mean mourning, but okay.
Wooing, mooring, whatever.
It's all the same with Joel.
Wooing.
Wooing is the act of
Wooing.
falling in love. It's like
you
woo
which
someone.
courting.
Which is the
Yeah.
worst thing that could happen to anyone.
What's that? Yes, I can see how you would say that. I agree. But we say like and I'll quote Star Wars Episode 3 when they said she's lost the will to live. You ever see that?
Oh,
They lost the
God,
will
yeah.
to live,
And then the robot shows a little breaking heart.
We're definitely not to the
It
point.
did not. Did
No, it didn't.
Oh god.
I was expecting it when that line happened.
We're definitely not to the point where that should be allowed to be written into scripts.
What? You're breaking my
She
heart.
died of a broken heart
you know-
or whatever because it's just let's stop that.
I think I'm one of the first people in the world to ever see Star Wars in order.
What?
See Star Wars in order. Let me tell you about the
You're,
first
you're,
time.
what are you talking about? Everyone in this room has seen Star Wars in
No,
order.
as in, episodic
Oh,
order.
oh, I see what you
Because
mean.
I saw 1 and 2.
How? Well, yeah,
The
yeah.
third one was out at the cinema. I saw that, and I saw 4, 5, and 6.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Thanks for clarifying.
Well, Joel was
I
obviously
was,
confused.
I was going off of real time.
So,
I was going off of.
Did I ever tell you
you
the
don't
first
think
time?
anyone else did that?
Did I tell you about the first time I met Gavin? Like in person when I met him?
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Gavin's been on our site since he was about 15 years old. And
14.
14. So he's like this kid. Like he had really long hair back then. And he would post pictures of himself where he'd do these like special effects where he'd clone himself. There was like 8 Gavins in one photo.
and he had that picture of all the dead bodies in his room.
Exactly. All tucked away in his house, and he was level 21. But so I went over to you were I think at this point about 18, and I'd known you for a couple of years now, so it wasn't at all weird.
No, I wasn't as old as that.
No, because you didn't drink yet.
No.
Yeah, you were 17. And so I went over to Paris, France, home of the Eiffel Tower, because I had to do. This was the best trip ever, Joel. It's almost as good as a trip you and I took to Scotland. I had to go over to Paris for this festival where they wanted me to present on machinima, and because I don't speak French at
did
a
you have
level,
translator?
I had a translator, so I do 30 minutes, which because I had a translator, that meant I really only had to do 15 minutes.
Omelette du fromage.
Yes, so I spent 5 days in Paris for basically 15 minutes of work that I had to do. Presentation.
Yeah.
If
What
we-
was your speech like? Was it just sort of dry, or did you try and?
No, I was talking about machinima. The cool thing about machinima is that it's as an art form, it's much more respected in Europe and in Australia. So if we ever have to go talks about
That's
talks
always
about,
the case.
I
With
love
us.
that.
Anything that we do, it's good. It's always respected more somewhere where we're not.
It's like Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, well, this was. I went to a convention where it seemed like it was at the Pompidou Center in France, and the other stuff that was presenting there were like people who would make demos, which were music files with graphics, like something you'd see at the beginning of a pirated Commodore 64 game. It was that, and they had to get them as small as possible, like 4K or 6K. And I think coming back from that is when we first talked about the Left 4 Dead 4K.
Left 4K Dead.
Left 4K Dead, that's what it was. It's a 4K version of Left 4 Dead. And then it turns out, after all those years, that was made by Notch.
Yeah, that's
the guy who
crazy.
made Minecraft.
That was made by Notch.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy?
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, that was crazy. Anyway, so I thought, I'm going to take the train, and I'm going to go over to London, because I've never been there before. Hey, I'm going over to London. I'll meet this guy, Gavin, that I've known for years and haven't met in person ever. So I'm going to go over to London. So I say, Gavin, hey, do you want to meet? We can go have lunch or something. I want to see episode 3 because it just came out. And it's Star Wars, man. I got to see when it comes out, right?
Sure.
So I said, I'm going to go see episode 3. Do you want to come? He's like, absolutely. So I get on the train. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I said I'd be there about 2. I ended up getting in at about 3. And then we're texting back and forth trying to coordinate.
No, we weren't.
We go to lunch. Yeah, we were.
Was there
I didn't have
texting?
your number. I asked Gus for your number. You wouldn't give it to me.
Smart man, Gus.
Hey,
And so we
I
were
know what's
coordinating
up.
all day trying to find each other. We finally find each other about like 3 or 4. We go, we eat at some terrible restaurant. I don't know what it was. I tried to get him
It
drinks.
was a
but
fire station. Do you
It
remember?
was a fire station. I
You
had
ate at a
catfish.
fire station?
Well, it's converted.
I think I catfish in London is what I ate.
It doesn't matter where you go. There's no food there.
It's terrible. So I tried to get him drinks by telling the waitress he was my brother. That didn't play at all.
I looked about 12.
Yeah, he did. And so and he was with a friend of his, and then we leave there and we go to the theater where episode 3 is playing, and I say, okay, I'll buy your ticket to episode 3. He goes, oh, don't, I've already seen it. And I said, oh, I thought we were going to see the movie. I didn't know you had already seen it. He goes, well, I hadn't. I go, when did you see it? He goes, I saw it today when I got in. So the movie we were going to go see together, Gavin decided to see before I showed up. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll go see the movie and you won't. He goes, okay, bye. He just
What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's pretty much it. No, I'll tell you what happened.
Maybe he saw you, got freaked out, and was like,
It's like
he's like, I'm bailing.
That would be a rational explanation for that.
That's
Not
what
that we made
happened.
plans to go see a movie together and you saw it earlier in the same day we had plans to go see it.
What happened is I was with someone else. You were 2 hours late. He was getting impatient, and he was
Wait.
just like-
Let me get this straight. Bernie was 2 hours late.
Coming
I am
from
astonished.
France. I was coming
I
from
didn't have his
France.
number. I
You're
had no way of
always-
getting in touch
you're
with him.
Always
Gus
coming from
wasn't
France.
being helpful.
That's your excuse.
That's what I do.
Anyway, the guy I was with was getting impatient. He was like, I'm just going to go and see it. And I was like, oh, well, he's not here yet. And I just went in with him. And then you came, so we hung up with you, and I left. Sorry about that. Sorry to inconvenience you.
See,
and
he-
you fell
he
asleep
do-
in the
he do-
movie as well, didn't you?
I did. I got drunk and fell asleep. Episode 3 was terrible. There was Brad Pitt and Sean Penn, and I don't remember the rest.
They went to
Yeah,
space.
by episode 3, pretty much everybody had given up on it, right?
Man, if like the 5-year-old me had seen me falling asleep in a Star Wars movie when I was gonna be, what is wrong with you? You know, and episode 3 had finally come out after all those years, and I go and I don't give a shit.
Terrible. Do you
Yeah, but
remember?
5-year-old, you'd be also like, would also be like, man, I can finally drink.
Like, why am I not eating 7 chocolate bars?
Yeah, really, or eating ice cream for breakfast.
I remember, Gus, we were at a convention once in a hotel, and we were watching the Darth Vader thing, you know, where that pod opens and closes and he gets interrupted over and over
Yeah.
again. And then we flicked on the TV, and Star Wars was on, and it was on that exact moment.
was at the
Remember?
exact
It was
same-
like literally, we just finished watching it on the computer, and it came on the TV.
What are the odds?
Coincidence.
I think that YouTube video is called Darth Vader is an asshole. Right? Yeah, and that is a
Oh, yeah, he
funny,
interrupts the other guy,
Funny,
doesn't he?
yeah, funny video.
It's
yeah.
very clever.
funny video. It's one of the best bits of editing that I've ever seen to retell
So
a story.
you've held that over my head for like what 7 years?
It made no fucking sense. I
Let
came
me-
all
let
the way
me tell
over from
you.
the U.S.
Let
to
me
go see a
jam-
movie with you. The day we go to see the movie, he sees the movie that day a little earlier.
We're done with that. Let me tell you what
done with that.
what doesn't make sense. Do you remember? It was 2007. I just spent about 3 months in Texas with you, with Rooster Teeth. My flight home got cancelled, and you didn't tell me.
I didn't know.
You booked the ticket. We were at Amplifier looking at because I'd been doing conventions and stuff. So you're like, let's go to Amplifier, see what's going on over here. And then you were like, oh, by the way, your flight got cancelled. Like, you found out like 3 hours earlier. So I had to leg it to the airport to see if I could get a different flight to Dallas. I couldn't because the last flight had gone. I had to fly to LA to go to London. I had to fly 3 hours in the wrong direction to go home. Thanks, Bernie.
I don't remember all this because I was at Star Wars earlier in the day watching it.
And didn't you, like, you had to leave that day? Like, you couldn't be in the
That
country.
was the thing.
It was day,
That was
day
the thing.
90 of 90 of my visa. I could only stay 90 days. If you overstay your visa, it's a big deal. It's very hard to come back after that if you overstay your visa. So the last flight out of the United States was in LA, and I had to go there. And as I was,
It's like you had to fly to the worst airport in America.
LAX. So as I was boarding the flight to LAX, the woman on the gate, she was like, "I don't think you're going to make this flight." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to overstay the visa." When we landed at LAX, I just grabbed my bag, ran. As I was running, glanced the board to see where the flight to London Heathrow was. It was said final boarding, and luckily it was like 3 gates down. So I was like running, ran down the jetway onto the plane, sat down, it took off. I think that's the least amount of time I've ever spent. It was probably about 20 seconds total in that airport.
Like 60 feet.
Yeah, and we just went. You're an arsehole. I was so stressed.
No, you should be thanking him for that experience. That's
No,
like
I couldn't
having a
stop.
private jet. You get to the airport, you walk on the plane, they close the door, and you take off.
If you'd
Yeah,
have told me,
totally.
if you'd have told me like an hour earlier, I could have got an earlier flight to Dallas.
How
and just
is
waited
it
at
my
Dallas.
problem that they canceled your flight?
You should
'Cause you
try.
didn't damn tell me
You
about it.
should be glad that you don't have to share a hotel room with them.
You're an adult.
I have had to share it.
You're an adult. You can manage this stuff on your own.
Did he
I
poop on-
didn't
did he
know
poop- did
that
he,
your
like-
flight had been canceled.
Did he poop on your bed?
No.
He left like a big poop.
He snored into my brain.
I don't know.
What is the story with this?
That-
That he thinks I poop places. You're turning me into the person who poops.
Oh, by the way, it was September 11th as well. Just add some stress to that day.
Yeah, like
It was
2010.
9/11. 2007.
All of a sudden, him saying this makes me realize that why his visa process was so difficult. All of a sudden, makes sense.
When I was flying back from San Francisco
was
the other
him.
day, I encountered one of the strangest TSA agents I've ever seen in my life. So I checked in for the flight at San Francisco, and the gate agent says, normally the security line's over here, but that line's about to close, so go over here to your right, and there's another line down there. So I said, fine, okay. I walk down there, and I get to the line, and there's only like 5 groups of people in front of me. Maybe some of them were couples, some of them were people by themselves. I was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to get through this in no time. The agent, like the first person walked up to the agent grabbed their ID and their boarding pass, began looking at the ID, and repeatedly looking at the ID and looking at the person, like making sure it's them.
I hate that.
Then
Yeah.
they pulled out like a jeweler's loop and started examining
Jesus.
every square inch of the ID on the front.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, we're through this. Nope, flipped it over, did the back, every square inch. It's like, what the hell? And finally that person was cleared. Then the next person was a couple, a married couple. They both walk up to the agent and he freaks out. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you two, you can only come together if you're a family. And the guy was like, we're married. Yeah, we are a family. He's like, no. If you don't have a kid, you can't come together. You need to go back, sir. He's like, what? He's like, sir, you need to go back. Quit being combative. The guy's like, okay. He walked back to the front of the line, and he goes through this whole thing. And he looks at the ID real close, looks at the woman, looks at the ID. The woman's wearing glasses. Then he looks at her and goes, can you take your glasses off, ma'am?
Oh my god.
And I was like, what the fuck? Really? So, she takes her glasses off, and he's like, and he's still, back and forth, looking at the ID, looking at her, then pulls out the jeweler's loop, looks over every square inch. He's like, okay, you can go ahead. Then the guy comes up, and the guy's like, the guy you could tell is, obviously kind of upset,
Yeah.
but trying not to piss this guy off. And
Yeah.
he goes to the same deal, examining every square inch, and I thought, what the fuck? On my license, I don't have facial hair. Is he going to make me shave when I get it fucking up? And so he went through,
wax your face.
Going through, like I said, 4 people probably took him about 15 minutes. And then after the 4th person, another TSA agent came up and was like, hey, you can go work the x-ray machine. I got this checkpoint. And the guy's like, no, I got this. And the guy's like, no, really.
Really?
Go
Please.
work the machine. I got the checkpoint here. And you could see, everyone in the line was like, oh, thank God. Because we were all dreading getting up there. I've never seen anyone like that.
I hate that. And it's like the process where you're standing there and they're like, look at you, and they look at the picture. It's like, okay, now we all have to play this game and pretend like you're even actually looking at me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like...
Oh, I forgot. Also, he made everyone say their name.
Say their name.
And then
So
he
stupid.
repeated it as well, to make sure he could pronounce it. So, one person had, the TSA agent was Asian, and this one woman who was Mexican walked up, and her name had, a weird accent to it, and he was, repeating it over and over, trying to get the pronunciation correct. And I was like, just move on, dude.
Man.
Just
See,
move on.
that is the guy who's got the dead body stacked up at home. It's him.
Or he let through
that's the guy.
someone completely crazy and is now incredibly paranoid about it.
And I thought maybe that they had, a
No.
specific threat that they were guarding against. Or like it was like maybe there's like some kind of forged ID thing that they're not telling anyone about. But the next dude was like any other TSA agent. He's like, "Let me see your ID."
Yeah.
All right,
Did
go.
you ask him
Let
what
me see
was
your
up with the
ID?
other
Yeah,
day?
go. No. I don't want to piss
No,
anyone off in
no,
that situation.
no.
I just want to get through there. I just want to get on my plane.
Yeah.
I just want to do whatever.
Spoken like a
on.
good sheep.
Yeah.
Fucker.
I kind of
I told you, put me on the machine, torture me. I will adhere to your beliefs. Put me in a line and make me wait. I whatever you say, sir. Take my shoes off. All right.
You have a badge.
Let you take naked pictures of me? Sure thing. Let me put my hands up for you. Yes, sir. My pockets are empty.
This is what you're describing pretty much as our shorts process, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Joel, you're the only person here that might understand this as well. I would like to own a pair of shoes for more than a month before they get covered in fake blood. Every pair of shoes I have has fake blood.
That's always an
all over
embarrassing
them.
thing too, because we always reminisce about this every time we're in line at the TSA agent, where it's like, "Oh, hey, my shoes are covered in fake blood. Yours?"
I'm covered in blood from the ankles down.
Yeah.
I went and got a shoe shine at the airport. It looked like we murdered somebody. It looked like a crime scene.
You think the shoe shine guy got in trouble? Like why does he have so many bloody rags?
I mean, he goes, I'm not sure if I can fix this. And then
I remember
told him,
specifically buying a new pair of sneakers, and then like a week later, blood all over them.
yeah, blood all over all of our clothes all
Yeah,
the time.
all the time.
Why do you and I get covered in blood at every short?
I don't know.
You play those fucking agents, whatever they are.
No, but
cops.
it's across different roles. I mean, it's,
You're gonna play a teacher and you're gonna teach students and we're gonna be a funny little scene. Then I think you get covered in blood.
yeah, no, that's pretty much every scene. This scene is you guys holding hands in a field where butterflies fly around, and then there's Bambi the deer, and then you're all just.
And then the elevator from The Shining opens up in front of you.
Pretty much.
Then the deer explodes, and then your head gets impacted.
Then the guy from National Rail gets paid.
How much does that guy get paid though?
I don't know.
God, you're really just obsessing over
Like
that.
what is the point? Because like in every job,
Some
it
people
reaches
just
a
aren't-
point
they're
where you
not
just get
bothered,
over
though.
it.
Yeah, some people
Some
just,
people,
like,
some
are
people
numb to
aren't
that kind of
bothered.
thing.
Yeah, but it's like if you do care, at what point are you just like, is it the ninth
No.
eyeball? Is it
No.
the 10th eyeball?
You
It's
can
just
adjust
like,
to anything. You can
You
adjust
can
anything.
adjust anything, but
you
it's
totally
like,
can.
I don't.
and even if you
Yeah.
adjust, to anything, I mean, at what point? I mean, are there different like body parts who like?
Is there a different scenario maybe that you're not ready for?
I don't know. I don't want to see like some other dude's junk. You know, it's like what now you get to see some other dude's junk potentially thrown out across.
Wait a minute.
A field.
Wait a minute.
I mean, it's
is it
just-
really? Are you at that level where
I don't wanna see other
you
stuff.
see a destroyed human body and you're more worried about seeing a dude's genitals? That's the thing.
He bent over backwards and they found it in his bum.
I don't want to. I don't want to see either. I don't want to see anything. The older I get and the more I learn, I'm like, I want to unlearn it. I don't want to know.
How does your brain go to that immediately? Like he's scared of seeing another man's genitals. That's the worst thing. It's a destroyed human being, and like I saw his genitals.
That's what his brain's telling you.
Is
I
it
don't
make
want to
you
see
gay?
it. I don't want to
If
see.
you look at
no,
the junk,
no,
you become.
no.
What's the
If you look
logic?
at the junk, we become gay, Joel.
You're a gay necrophiliac.
I don't want to see any part of it. I don't want to see anything.
There are some things that cause the human body such sort of a shock that people vomit instantly. I can't imagine that
And the
happening.
smell.
I
The
can't
smell's
imagine that
not good.
happening from someone who sees another guy's junk. Just,
I don't know how women function. I don't know.
that's a completely different conversation.
No, I don't know how they deal with our crap.
So I had a really.
Are you drawing?
You're writing on your laptop.
I'm pointing with my pen so I know what
do
I'm
that.
talking about. So there's something I've been meaning to talk about in the podcast, and now that we're talking about gross biological stuff, I want to bring it up. I experienced one of Gus's stinky sneezes.
Oh,
and I
did
don't
you really?
remember when we talked about the fact that Gus has stinky sneezes.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, and I don't forget where we were, but we were somewhere in close proximity.
I think we were in Seattle.
And Gus sneezed, and I'm like, "What is that?" I go, "That is a Gus," and I'm afraid I have it now.
You know, if he was in England, there would be a guy hired to walk around and pick up everything that he.
What, all the sneezes?
Everything you touch.
Launches.
So you experienced it.
What is it?
I don't know.
You gonna die?
I don't know.
He sneezes. Have you ever experienced this?
It-
Never.
I've heard about it.
It's not every sneeze, and I don't think I've had one in a couple
You
weeks.
once
It's been a
compared
while.
it to a bloated
Are you
dead
cons-
animal.
Yes.
Are you concerned about that? Maybe there's something dying on the inside of your
Can
head.
we get some pepper and try and
Maybe you
induce
have
one right
maybe
now?
your sinuses.
I'm gonna look up see if the internet. We talked about this
Wait,
like
yeah,
on
is
other
there-
podcasts.
Is there a medical term for this?
People like I think most doctors don't acknowledge that it's possible, but there are some people who say that it's possible to have like bacteria in your sinus.
We should swab
that
your nasal path.
makes stinky sneezes, but I never smell it. Is the thing like if when I'm breathing, I don't smell a bad smell, but when I sneeze, I know it's a stinky sneeze.
well,
Well, the
let's
thing
let's
is
go
that
to
they
the
say
best source of
people-
knowledge on the internet, Joel. Let's go to Yahoo Answers for this.
Okay.
We talked about this earlier. Yahoo Answers. Has Yahoo Answers actually answered anything ever about anything ever in the history of the world?
Yahoo Answers should give up, and they should just put a button like, you can share on Twitter and stuff, on other sites, and like share on Reddit or whatever. Yahoo Answers should have a button, share on 4chan. I mean, they should have that.
They should have a button that's like, take screenshot of this.
Exactly. And post to 4chan.
Every subject on Yahoo Answers is exactly the same thing. You've got one naive idiot who's like posting a legitimate question, and then you have a dude under it going, cookies smell like buttholes.
What's the Yahoo answer you see there?
Apparently, Joel's brain has Yahoo's answer. Open the door. All right. Hey, let's wear pants. How do you get rid of stinky sneezes, and what is it? First answer with the most upvotes is, huh? Then Carolyn, who is her credentials are listed here. She's been a nurse for over 24 years. She's never heard of such a thing. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then sneezing, that's under wrong diagnosis.
Yeah, for some reason, lots of people don't believe it exists, but you believe now.
Dude.
And Jeff believes.
I believe. I have experienced the stinky sneeze, and it's weird. It's weird.
I think Kerry smelled it once also, and he had the same reaction you did, where he was afraid that if he smelled it, that he was going to have it as well. So he started like covering up his nose and his mouth and running away.
Well, it's because you said your wife caught them.
Yeah.
You did. You said your wife caught him.
Yep.
Dude, the next time you have one, yell really loud. I'll come. I'm gonna try and get.
Now, while you're here, I'll try to sneeze into my
just like-
hoodie or jacket. And I'll go to you and I'll take it. I'll be like, look, smell in my jacket.
Take your stuff elsewhere. Take the group over and away.
Gus has got his own sort of biological warfare.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened in a
Equipment.
while. Now that you mention it,
Maybe
it's been a couple months.
Well, I'll look forward to the next one.
I gotta say, whenever you try to find out information about something on the internet, especially as the internet's getting kind of old. Like,
Yeah,
some of the
I find
services,
this all the time. Yeah,
it's getting kind of old.
you sort of dismiss stuff. Like if I'm looking for like a technical thing and it says like
People are
2010,
savvy
it's like, oh,
enough.
that's old as hell.
People are
Can you
savvy
imagine,
enough
like
to realize that the internet is no longer has any answers for them.
yeah, there'll be a time 30 years from now when you'll be pulling up results from like 30 years ago, and you'll be like, "Well, this is really old." They're not like 2 years old.
Yeah, it's like I love when you see the technical thing. It's like, hey, my CD drive is not recognized by my whatever laptop, and it says this specific error, which is how you found it, right? And then you're like, yes, and you see 200 replies, and somebody says, you should call support, is always the second one. And then the third one is the guy who had the original problem going, never mind, I fixed it. And you're like, you motherfucker.
Like, how did you fix it?
You fucker.
Did I tell you what I did recently? When I found a post that I posted on a tech support forum, it was about Microsoft Word. I posted it in 2003, and I said, I've got this problem. And a guy responded to it, like, the day after I did it in 2003, saying, why don't you try this? And I just, by fluke, found this post I made. So I just logged back in, and I was like, thanks, I'll try that. Literally 8 years after. And I just bumped the thread back to the top. And you can imagine people, like, looking at that thread going, huh? Like, an 8-year gap between posts in the same thread is like...
Like you hadn't not needed to use Word again in those 8 years, and you're like, oh wait, that problem. Like, oh yeah, there's
You even have the same word. What are like Word 2000?
I'll try that, thanks.
Did you apply his knowledge the first time he said it?
No, I don't think I even checked. I can't even remember what the issue was.
Oh man, I just fixed a problem on my TV that I have. I bought a 3D television, Gavin.
Why?
How's that working out?
I had to buy a new TV about a year ago, and 3D was just kind of coming around, and it was like $100 extra to get the 3D version. And so I thought
I wouldn't pay that.
I might need it, so I got it, and it was like this one of these TVs are so thin now; they're so thin, and it's awesome, and you can like hang it on the wall, and like a little arm, I have an arm on the TV. It's great. I love it. But it did this thing. The thing I hated about it was not the 3D. It's this new mode that TVs have where they're 240 hertz refresh rates.
That is ridiculous.
And it makes everything look like a Spanish soap opera.
But what is yours doing what some do, where it will either display the same frame twice or it will create one in between?
No, I don't know about that. But I can tell you playing Halo on it, and you pan to the left, it interpolates frames in between.
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
It does. You're like, what is this?
You end up with like movies looking like video, like really like high frame rate video. It's like I just want to throw up.
I don't know who likes it. I think James Cameron, he loves that stuff.
I've got a 1080p projector, and there's like 2 different levels of because sometimes on a slow pan you can get kind of stuttering effect with like Blu-ray and stuff, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But when it's
stereostropic,
deadly smooth, it's just,
right?
it looks even worse.
It looks bizarre.
So does it do 240 hertz when you're watching, or is it 120? Like when you do 3D, is it two 120 fields, or is it
I haven't watched shit in 3D.
240?
I played Call of Duty Black Ops in 3D. That was pretty cool.
I did. I got a 3D TV recently also. But
Yeah,
I tried that
it
out.
makes sense for gaming to me, but
I
don't want to
also
watch a movie in a
played
box.
I played a little bit of Uncharted 3 in 3D. That
Wasn't
was
Halo
pretty
Anniversary
awesome.
supposed to be in 3D?
I think
Yes.
it was, yeah.
Was it 3D?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the tech demo at PAX Prime.
Yeah.
I should totally go back and play Halo in 3D.
Yeah, people, I've heard a lot of great things about it.
Jesus. Last weekend on the podcast, after I said I couldn't finish the library in 20 minutes or finish the library without dying, like, I can tell you're not a real Halo player. You suck. I'm like, yeah, fuck the newsflash. I suck at Halo. I thought everybody knew that who listens to this guy.
By the way, you are not a real Halo player, Mister.
No, I'm not. Apparently, I'm not a real Halo player.
You should bring in your 3D TV and play Halo Anniversary with me on it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I guess it won't-
you can watch the Marines die in 3D.
And how fucking lazy are you? How about you come over to my house and play there instead of me fucking dragging a TV in so you can play Halo 3D? Get off your fucking bum and come over.
No,
Okay.
well, no, he's being careful about that because he knows if he tries to come over to your house, his flight's going to get canceled. He's going to have to go to LAX. On that.
There,
point.
there is something depressing about flying over the place you just left 6
Yeah.
hours ago.
No,
It's
no,
depressing.
yeah, totally. I've done that, right? Where it's like I'm moving,
baby.
like on the first flight, it's like, well, I'm moving further away
Yeah.
from my goal right now. All of this time.
One of the
it's like-
guys I work with is a wildlife cameraman, and he once had to fly to Alice Springs in Australia, I think. But just to save a little bit of money, the production company booked him a connecting flight through somewhere like right on the edge. So he had to just he looked out of the plane and saw Alice Springs, and he was like, oh, it's going to be like 9 hours till I get there, just because someone was too cheap to get a flight straight.
So
to
he
there.
went over the place
He went
he was supposed
over
to
it,
go.
about like 4 hours, waited, and then came back.
that
It's just
sucks.
it's just horrible. Just when you know, it's just like
That's
ah,
fucking terrible.
I just jump out of the plane right now.
I would just jump.
Let me take my Harry.
Did you get another dog?
I did. So my dog, Lincoln, passed away.
That sucks.
It was very sad. He was a good dog.
He was a great dog.
I had a golden retriever named Lincoln, and he was a rescue dog. And about 8 months ago, we found out he started limping one day, and we found out that he had bone cancer in his leg. It was just awful, and so he went down to a 3-legged dog.
See,
That was a big decision.
I was trying to get to a happy conversation.
We're gonna get to a happy place. We're gonna
All
get to a happy place. So it was a big decision whether or not to take Lincoln's leg off, his front left leg, and it was
Oh, it's a front leg.
Yeah.
That's worse.
You think it's worse?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
I
worse.
think they get power from the back legs. The back's
There's,
worse.
I've seen. I know there's a lady somewhere around in Austin that has a 3-legged dog, and seeing it is just like I don't know if I have heartstrings, but that's the only time I've ever felt.
Joel, don't say that. You have heartstrings.
Three-legged
Yeah.
dog. Ugh.
So
That's really sad.
but he lived 8 more months after that. So that
Yeah.
was great. I mean, it was
So good call.
totally a good call. But man, those first couple days were hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. So Lincoln ended up passing away, and because we have young kiddos, we decided to get another dog right away because it was too hard to not
Yeah.
have a dog around. And you kind of when the doorbell would ring,
Yeah.
Lincoln had this annoying habit that you then missed, where he would just bark like an insane maniac every time the doorbell rang. But then the first time doorbell rang, it was like, oh, we're all sad because
Yeah, it's weird what you end up missing.
yeah, it's weird. I wonder what I would miss about Gavin. Not much.
I miss Joe the cat.
I miss Joe the
I
Kid.
miss that scripts don't get torn to shreds when you leave them
Joe
on the
has
table.
gotten more violent. I'm telling you. I mean, especially when why you got to throw the iPad?
I just dropped my iPad.
All right, that's. I don't want to. That's, why are you showing
Gus
me
is showing
that?
us a 2-legged dog that walks on its hind legs.
That's
But the thing is, it can never get
Oh, wow,
down
he's
ever
awesome.
again. How does it get down without banging its chin?
You think he's been standing on those 2 legs
Yeah,
for a few years?
Ever since he
Sleep
stood
like
up,
that.
it's like, well, I'm not going to get back up again.
Man, that's totally amazing.
Oprah
looked good.
that a 3-legged dog is depressing. A 2-legged dog is
awesome.
something else.
That's a triumph.
That's
That's
a
awesome.
different emotion. I don't know what's happening.
All right, well, we need to wrap up.
Well, so we have a new dog. Her name is Rookie, and she's like a really interesting sized lab. She's a smaller lab. She's like a medium sized dog.
It's funny, when I saw her, I didn't think of her as being a lab because she's kind of smaller.
I'm gonna
cute.
get a dog.
She's not a small shitty dog like your small shitty dog that you have.
My small dog's awesome.
I hate small shitty dogs.
I'm gonna get a dog. I'm gonna get 2 dogs,
yes.
and then they're gonna come to the office. I'm gonna bring them in the office and live there.
I'm all for pets in the office.
I was a little.
love that.
We should-
I was a
everyone
little
should
bit of a
give a pet.
hypocrite because I've asked people not to bring their pets to the office, and then I
Why?
brought this dog to the office
Why?
because some people really like their pets more than other people like their pets. You know, and some
I'm
of the pets
bad.
can hear.
Also, pets are bad for me because I get as soon as I see it's like
Well, you'll turn up with a snake or something.
No, that's
Rookie's a great name for a dog.
The kid's named her Rookie. I, of course, wanted to name her. What's my dog name that I always try to...
Zazu?
Zazu. I've been trying to name a dog Zazu for 20 years now.
Well, I'm glad you've been stopped.
Why?
I don't think I've ever heard of a dog named Rookie.
Why would you? Why would that's a terrible name? What's
That's the name for a bird.
I just like it, Zazu. I just like the name.
What's wrong with it? What the fuck's
terrible
wrong with you
name.
guys? Species?
That's a terrible name. It's a terrible name.
You're for a bird.
What was the name of the bird in Lion King?
You know, for a writer, you're really terrible at naming animals.
We named him Rookie. Well, Lincoln, you know, the funny thing is when we got Lincoln, he was a rescue dog and he came from another family. He was Lincoln, like Lincoln Park, but he knew the name Lincoln, so he changed it to Lincoln like the president, like Abraham Lincoln.
Or like the logs.
Or like the logs.
Lincoln.
Yeah, we changed it to that so that it seemed a little less. Because on his collar, actually, like Likin.
I know, that was embarrassing that one day he got away from the office and our neighbors found him. And they're like, "You looking for Lincoln?" Yeah. And it's like Linkin. It's like, oh yeah, it's actually Lincoln, like the president.
we were going to change it. We're going to change his name to LinkedIn, but he was actually a useful dog, so it didn't apply.
But the bird from Lion King is Zazu.
Well done.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's Rowan Atkinson.
Now I can't use the name.
Well, I don't know why you'd name a dog that.
I can't use the name anyway because nobody will let me.
Where'd you get the name from, anyway?
I don't know.
Just made it up?
Maybe just like see
Based on
subconscious.
stealing
from
Rowan
Disney.
Atkinson's?
Sharks can't get cancer.
Wait.
God, we gotta wrap up. Why are you gonna throw something like that out?
Do you know sharks don't have bones either? They are all cartilage.
They also don't
cartilage.
ever fully fall asleep, right?
Some sharks.
Well,
It's basically the most
they
terrifying thing.
they thought that for a long time, and then they found these sharks in the Caribbean that are literally laying on the bottom of the ocean floor.
So, we've established-
Like, they thought that sharks had to stay in motion
Those
the
are
whole time, but that's
Rasta
not-
sharks.
Sharks are
They're
immune,
just laying
I'm not
unbreakable,
asleep.
and they don't sleep. That's terrible. That's
you-
like
so-
absolute killing machine.
I wonder how long a shark can live in the wild. Like, what's the lifespan for a great white?
I think they can live thousands of years.
No.
Sure.
No.
All the ones I've met.
No. Thousands of years.
It's hard to date after 800, though. That's what I've heard.
Like 50 years?
We should have ended
40
the
years?
podcast.
40, 50 years? It's got to be it, right?
So, Gav and I did something really fun. Gav and I went out to Eric's birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw an original, I'm going to try to name the year here, 1977 print of Jaws. Maybe 76? Whatever the year the Jaws came out
It's
was.
funny because what you
An
guys
original print.
were talking about before, about the 240 megahertz and seeing additional frames, and the more frames you see, the worse it looks.
Yes.
That must have looked great.
Oh, it was shitty. It was so scratchy. And the
But it
whole
looked
the
so
film
shitty
was
that it looked
yellow.
great.
It was
It
yellow.
looks like it looked
Sharks
like
reach
Sunset, the whole movie.
Sharks reach maturity at 15 years of age and can have a lifespan of over 30
1,000.
years
30 years.
for great whites. Okay,
So I have another question to ask you.
what's up?
So we have a faucet in the kitchen. Okay, it's a kitchen faucet, which describes what it is and where it is. And it has two modes on it. It has the regular faucet mode where the water comes out like you would expect, like in a stream. Then it has the sprayer mode where it comes out of like 80 different little holes.
Right.
Like if sometimes you have like a little gun on the side of your sink that you pull on the hose and you pull the gun out and you use it to wash dishes. I can't drink water in the one mode, the spray mode. I can only drink water in the faucet mode.
What
it
happens?
turns
You like
white.
spill it all over yourself?
Don't you think it? No, don't you think it would have the opinion that if you get the water out of the faucet in the spray mode, that it would taste different than?
No.
if
Yeah,
you did
I
it?
can see that. It
No.
would go like white and bubbly, and it's like,
No.
I wouldn't drink that.
That it
No.
would taste different?
It would. Yeah, it would taste different. Like if you were getting from
Why
a
would it
sink,
taste-
an old school sink, and you had the faucet or you had the gun, you wouldn't fill your glass up with the gun.
Well, you'd be
'cause that
kicking
would
up
be-
crap from the bottom of the glass if it wasn't.
It's
like
in there
toast.
anyway, you fucking idiot.
But
No,
you know what I'm saying?
what
It's
I
like
mean is-
different. It feels like it's different water to me, even though it's all the same pipe. It's like if I put it out of the gun, that water would taste
Yeah,
different
but if
than
there was
water
like
out of the
residue.
faucet.
It's in there.
Yeah, but water, the still water wouldn't like disrupt it.
You're looking at me like I'm
That's
crazy,
definitely
Joel.
going to kick it up.
Do you
I'm
understand?
looking at you like you're crazy.
Have you
There's
ever
a reason
in
for
your
that.
life? Have you ever in your life gone to the sink and gotten a glass of water and used the gun to fill it up,
No, but I have used the spray version on a nozzle like that.
and that didn't bother you?
No.
at all.
No.
Aren't you the kind of person who has to like turn up your TV in volumes of 5?
No, it has to be even.
Why?
I don't know. I posted that on Twitter once, and everyone said they did the same thing or they did it in 5s.
Yes.
No one said that they had to have it on odd numbers unless it was a 5.
Have you ever thought about it ever? I've never done
Yeah,
it.
but when do you ever adjust the volume by 1? Ever.
I don't know.
There should be like
Well,
10 volumes.
And then I hate the ones where it's like they have the halves, like you have your receiver, it's like 28.5, 29, 29.5, 30.
All my receivers are weird. They're all negative. And
Oh,
you
yeah,
go-
yeah.
You go to
Because
0.
it's in decibels, right?
That's
I know what that
frequency.
means.
The frequency
Isn't
comes
it-
You
from
can't
hell.
have negative decibels, though.
I don't know.
Like it starts at -40 and you turn it up to 0.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Mine is like that too.
I think
What the fuck is that?
I don't know
think
what
it's
that is.
measuring it in decibels for a reason.
Is there like a standard decibel level that you're trying to hit?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and you're like 2 below that.
Yeah.
You can't go above 0.
Yeah, I gotta stay between 30 and 16 for most things.
Right.
Because
Negative
otherwise,
30
Yeah, but
negative
isn't it
30 to negative
similar on-
16.
Isn't it similar on
all
recording
I
stuff?
know.
and 30's quieter.
All I
Yes.
know is that I know that I really like a video game when I have a certain set level volume for that game. Like I know certain games, it's like Halo, I'm on 15. If I'm on Halo, it's 15. If I'm on Call of Duty, then it's 13.
So
If
you
I'm
like
playing a game on my
presets.
Xbox, it's always negative 26. I have to play at negative 26.
And
Yeah.
why is it negative? Why do they do that? I don't know. It seems like a weird conspiracy.
But if I'm watching
Marketing.
Netflix, like Netflix stuff can vary wildly in volume on my Xbox.
God, it can.
So can you go above 1? And
Yeah,
0?
I've gotten a positive.
You can go positive?
Yeah, I can go up to positive 30, I think. I've never listened to anything on positive, but I know it's there.
What? No, I must have a shitty receiver.
Thank
then.
God we don't have a Canadian in the room.
Mine goes to 0 and stops. Like, ka-dunk, and it's like that's the end. It's
Mine goes
insane.
to like 30, and then it hits like max.
max. See, that's stupid because it's like it's still telling you how much higher you go. So you're just gonna go all over to 30, but you live in the negative 16 range.
Yeah, negative 16 and negative 30.
The fuck are you doing? Wow, you could really blow this shit out. If
You
want
are
to.
a rock star.
You
Apparently.
could.
Okay,
You are
okay,
a
we
rock
got
star.
to end this.
See, I have this thing on my speakers. I have these independent theater movie speakers, and if you let the TV sit for a while, like somebody calls you or whatever, then the receiver clicks off on the speakers. So then it's like you got to jab the thing back to life and then wait the 3 seconds for the receiver to click back on.
Yeah.
You should be able to disable that. That sounds fucking annoying.
It's really fucking annoying.
He's telling us
It's
about
really
that. He got
fucking
the full package from Time Warner. They made him take this phone thing.
God damn, dude. Time Warner is.
My phone. I don't have a home phone.
No, me neither.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't have it either, except for I was forced to do it because I got the package.
So I had a weird thing though. I had a weird thing where,
Hey, Joel, get a phone.
hey Joel, let's call somebody. You know what'd be great, Joel? A phone. So I had to do something kind of douchey. It feels douchey at least because we don't have a home phone. I got my 9-year-old
You guys
a cell
love that
phone.
you have a thing now.
Yes.
You just love that you have a thing.
Hey Joel, kill him in his sleep. No, I got my 9-year-old a cell phone. That seems like too young, but Gavin was saying it's not.
No, it's fine.
What does he use a cell phone for?
You can get like a kid's phone that only accepts calls from like certain
it's
allowed
like,
numbers and can only make
security.
calls to certain numbers, right? You didn't get him one of those, did you?
No, we restricted down, but not. I mean, you know, my kid, he's like not going to break the rules.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to worry about him using it for anything. He's
Well, not now, but
no, when he's a teenager.
when they start turning, they go. I hear they go
Once
crazy.
he discovers the 011 international prefix.
oh wow.
So
Okay, that's it. That's it.
now I want to talk
I
about.
swear
this.
to God, we're
Why?
done.
Wait, so
Thank you for listening.
So I did
Have
mention
you
about
ever-
the beta on Twitter
What
at one point.
about
and people-
RTX? Should we talk about RTX?
And now for a bonus interview.
Okay, so Jack, we have a special guest with us here today.
We do.
We have Mr. Paul Marino, who is the lead cinematics designer over at BioWare, specifically on the Old Republic game,
That is correct.
which we talk about, I think, about 10 times a week on the podcast these days. Jack, you're playing all the time, right?
Dude, I love Star Wars The Old Republic. I run a guild of about 350 people, actually about 375 at this point, and we're doing operations, we're doing in-game stuff. We've got small groups running flashpoints like nonstop.
You've canceled like real life plans to go play that game.
What do you mean by real life? I take offense at that.
No, okay. Actually, no. That's true. When Gav got to town, I skipped out on going to dinner with Gav because I was running an operation that night. Actually, I joined our main operation group. And,
Listen,
so
He's like,
That's
I'm
real.
sorry.
He has dozens of people. How many people can go into an operation?
operation is 16.
16 people. So he has 15 other people waiting on him.
Yeah, I guess nowadays that's more of a better excuse than it used to be.
Yeah.
rather
And
than
it was
just being
also the first night that I was I was a backup because I knew I'd be busy every now and then. So this was like the first night I was officially
Right.
in the guild in the rating group or the operations group, and so so I couldn't miss out on my first day. Yeah, and we
So
did, yeah,
it was a you enjoyed it.
I love it, man. It's awesome. I mean, we've seen all the in-game stuff. Like we've run 16-man hard modes up to Soa on Eternity Vault,
Right.
And I think they ran it up to Karaga on Karaga's Palace, but both times they couldn't down them in 16, so they split up in 8-man and downed them in hard
Yep.
mode 8-man.
Yep.
So
It's funny because you can get so advanced in the game. I play this game, and I was just telling these guys earlier on a different podcast that this is a huge milestone for me as a gamer. This is the first MMO I've ever played where now I have a character at the current level cap. I've never stuck with one long enough to
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's about 4 weeks of my life that I think you owe me back in some way. Go tell my wife that. See how she feels.
I was just about to say, I'm sorry to your family. And stuff like that.
Well, you
Okay,
guys
back in the mail.
How long was the development for the game?
The development entirely was about 6 years from the first, the first kind of root of the genesis of the project, and then to release, I believe it was. I've been on the project for about 2.5 years, almost 3. So
Wow. And so, just to be clear, what Paul does, Old Republic, unlike other MMOs, all the mission quests that you get, they're all in cinematics. They're all full speech, fully animated cinematics. And in other games, they're just sometimes just text, And so we were talking about this earlier. How much cinematics do you think it is in total?
yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there's about 250,000 lines of dialogue in the game itself, and if I recall correctly, Mass Effect 2 is probably about on order of 35,000 lines, and then that came out to about 24 hours of cinematic content.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
So
Jeez.
I guess you can make a calculation from there.
And you guys have made new technologies to actually pull in audio and animate mouths and stuff, right? Or is that all hand done?
That's all. The lip sync technology is there. I mean, Mass Effect has that.
Okay.
Old Republic has that. So thankfully, we're not hand editing that stuff. That would be quite a bit of work. But it's it's been a great project. A lot of fun been working on it. So.
Yeah, we've been working with Paul for years, or if not working directly, at least working in the same area as Paul. Because I think I told the story before where we started making Red vs. Blue back in 2002, 2003, and we were like, "Hey, this is great! Being able to use video games to make movies. How super efficient!" And then we got a phone call one day where somebody said, "What you're doing has a name. It's called Machinima." That's a little bit of a simplification of actually what we were doing. The way that story worked, but that phone call was essentially Paul Marino, where Paul was the head of the Academy of Machinima Arts and Sciences, and he called us one day to tell us that there was this award ceremony coming up and we were being nominated for it, or if we wanted to submit for nominations.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so it's been that long, huh? It's been
9 years.
9 years.
It'll be our 9th anniversary on April 1st.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
The
10th
best
season.
anniversary ever. April 1st.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because no one ever believes that every time we do anything for anniversary or announce something, they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Look at the calendar, dude.
Great joke, man.
One of the things we love on the podcast is we love everyone's has an internet voice that that was your internet
That was my
voice.
internet voice.
Yeah. Everyone's got one.
Very,
It's
very
always
dopey.
It's always lower.
jaded and
Yeah.
sarcastic.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Yeah, nice job, man.
And it comes with a furious tapping of keys along with it.
Yeah. So you've seen this game pretty much nonstop. Or can we get back into Star Wars, or do you want to keep talking Machinima stuff?
Well, I was going to say, we come a long way with this. I mean, a lot of the technologies that Paul is using, we've talked about theoretically for years and years. Like, we have real-time sirens that go by.
Let me catch that.
I mean, when we first started, lip syncing was a huge deal. Paul was one of the first people to use Valve's Source engine and use the lip sync and was it Hammer?
A face poser.
Face poser.
Face poser inside of Hammer. Yeah.
And he has a really popular YouTube video, which is G-Man singing. It's to Still Seeing Breen, is what it's
Yeah, that was the name
video?
of the piece.
Yeah.
It was to a Breaking Benjamin song. And it was just me playing around with it. Like, they had just released the tools, and I was like, hey, what can I do with this? And that pretty much was the genesis for that, that little music video. So
Yeah, it's basically one dude in a living room in New York producing 3 minutes of facial animation
that's right.
by just messing around.
And they had it was really down pat too. Like, it was very similar to a lot of technologies that are like this now, where it's just, you feed it the WAV file and you feed it the textual information as well, and it'll do an analysis of how the lip sync actually works. And I basically just sang the song, much to the chagrin of the person I was living with at the time. And and then based on that, I obviously got the lip sync information together based on my singing the song, and then replaced it with the actual song itself. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
that was fun.
It's amazing the kind of stuff that comes out of someone's house. I mean, Monty, he's the same sort of deal where he made Haloid in his living room, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just screwing
Part-time
around.
Jeff, I think he worked at Jamba Juice or something. He would go home afterwards. But yeah, Paul's worked in design for a long time. In fact, Paul was instrumental in getting Gavin here because we had to, for Gavin's visa, we had to get testimonials.
That's right.
And Paul was one of our heavy hitters. Paul's an Emmy Award winner. Did you know
Really?
that?
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And your Emmy is for
broadcast design work that I did for Turner Broadcasting years and years ago.
So all you need now is a Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
That's right. I'm still on deck for
You're
those.
on your way.
So
You can EGOT.
well. What's the big video game award? I don't think the Spike Video Games Awards qualify in that What would be a quinfecta?
I think, honestly, I think the Spike TV Awards are probably the biggest gaming award. I mean,
GDC Awards might be a little more prestigious.
Well, there's that, and there's also the what you call the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, the awards at DICE that take place every
Right.
every February.
There's one that comes. It just came
What-
out
what's
recently too.
the
Is that
BAFTA?
The BAFTA.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
the BAFTA awards as well. Yeah,
that's,
Yeah.
that's the British one, right?
that's correct. Yeah.
Not to take anything away from the VGAs.
Or the
No, not,
Or the
nothing.
IGAs.
or the Rooster Teeth podcast. Award.
Exactly.
The most prestigious of them all.
Right. And so it's so you guys came out at the end of 2011. You guys launched Old Republic. Do you ever consider that for awards? Because I know it's a huge deal in movies and in Hollywood when to release things. But you guys are more geared on, I guess, the sales in Hollywood, or excuse me, the holiday season.
Right. I mean, obviously, getting the awards is always kind of a nice cherry on top of the cake kind of thing. But we're not trying to, it's not positioning about that. It's more about making sure that we have a service that's going live, that's solid, and making sure that the players have something that they're going to be able to play, for days on end. And so it's really driven by that more than anything that's like, trying to get accolades or any of that nature. So.
Yeah, and MMOs are a lot different too as far as the timing goes. I mean, we were playing Star Wars 6 months before release in beta, just through friends and stuff, and it's really neat to see sort of steps of progression and how things get better slowly over time. And even now with the game being out, it's a kind of game where you can keep tweaking it and keep refining it, and there's patches pretty much every week that kind of refine stuff. And I love that about MMOs. I love that they're always changing. They're like this living digital document that can always be moved and added on to. Like you guys already added on a brand new Flashpoint, the Kion Flashpoint, which is awesome. Have you played that one, Bernie?
No, it just makes me, because I'm looking at Paul, it's like, yeah, I'm still working. It's like,
Right.
Working on new content all the time.
There's this new Flashpoint called Kion Under Siege, and it's basically it's pretty much like Left 4 Dead in Star Wars.
It's the Raccoons, right?
Yeah, it's
the
Rackles, like
Rackle.
infested Rackles, and there's it's awesome.
Did you guys create that?
Great. The
Rackles? I mean,
Yes.
That's a new thing you added to the canon.
well, no, that one came with that was in the Knights of the Old Republic. So
Oh, okay.
that just carries over from our original story. So.
I played the first Knights of the Old Republic, and then I played it so long ago. I was going to go back and play them both before, and actually I have a 10-year-old that plays with me, and so I sat there and watched him playing Knights of the Old Republic, the first one. So it was actually kind of hard to go out and find it, to get
Yeah.
it on Mac is where he played it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fun
but
game.
so Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 take place 300 years before Old Republic, I think.
Something like that. I forget the actual timeline.
Yeah.
That kicks off beforehand, but yeah.
But no,
Before Old Republic.
before Old
Yeah,
Republic,
okay.
before the
Old
MMO.
Republic.
Like no spoilers, but there's stuff that carries over from Knights of the Old Republic that you will see in the Old Republic MMO. Some flashpoints specifically, and some characters. It's pretty cool. Like there's some really really fun characters that make appearances. That I was very excited when I saw some certain characters.
Old Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic, the original game, that series has one of the quintessential story moments in it that if you're a gamer at the time, you had to play, and everybody knows that one. And it's one of those things that's hard to, like, it's not like necessarily like old movies. It's like, you can go back and watch a classic film and invest an hour and a half in doing it. To tell someone, hey, go back and invest 60 hours, you're really going to like this one part of the story. You know what I
Right,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, it's hard, but it really is worth it if you can go back and find the game and play it.
Well, that's always great. I mean, even like Red Dead Redemption, there's certain scenes in there that I'm like, oh my god, simple stuff, but it's like that's really really cool. Even like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like when the nuke goes off, that was something that I've never experienced before. And if a video game can pull that off,
Spoiler.
well,
Yeah, seriously.
I think it was like
Thanks,
4
man.
years old at this point. But I mean, if a video game can pull that sort of epic story moment off, I mean that's incredible. And like everything I've done in Old Republic's great too. I mean, like all of the animations and stuff are really really cool, and like certain moments they really key you in on things, and it's pretty badass.
I'm so glad I chose Smuggler. I've had so much fun with that storyline.
That's one of my favorite classes. I'm a big gun class person. so
Republic scum.
but I'll
Fight,
play
fight.
smuggler and trooper and agent and bounty hunter. So
Yeah, I rolled a bounty hunter. That's
Yeah.
my favorite character.
That's my other class, but that's a level 10 versus a level 50. So,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go back and figure something else out. I probably might play Imperial Agent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite storylines.
Really?
The agent, yeah.
Okay.
be a sniper or something.
I don't know. Yeah. Is that the
That's the
two
advanced
advanced
class.
classes?
Yeah.
Sniper and what else? Like
I feel like I should be writing this down.
I forget what the
There's a lot.
yeah.
sniper and not
Operative.
Yeah, that's right, operative. Yeah. So, Man, I love it. I love that. I mean, you know, people like to be able to like sort of really refine what kind of character you want, because each character class has 2 advanced classes, and then there's 3 skill trees on top of that. So really, there's like 6 different characters you can make out of one starting point.
And damn it, you know, I mean, it's like every time you assign a point to the skill tree, it's such a huge decision.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, there's
Oh,
this
yeah.
fearful thing about me in there. It's like, I'm doing the wrong thing. I know I'm doing the wrong thing. And then you jerks, you actually made the button called commit. It literally isn't just okay or accept. It's commit.
We knew, you know, emotional engaging is not just the story; it's also in the interface. So
It's like my hand's like, oh, do I really want can I commit to this? I don't
Is that
know.
your final answer?
And I know you can pay to have it. I don't even know where do you go to pay to get your skill tree wiped, because I've seen it some places.
Capital City. So I think Coruscant or Drummond Cos.
Republic Fleet for me.
No. Actually, it'd be Coruscant, I think.
yeah, of course.
Oh, Coruscant does it. Okay.
Yeah. And then Drummond Cos, like the marketing area, or the market area, there's a guy who can reset all your skills for
Hey,
you.
baby, you want your skill tree wiped?
That's right.
Yeah.
It goes up too. It's a little more each time. The first one's free, and then it's like up from there. It's a little more
But so
expensive.
you guys, I mean, you work on the animation. I mean, I'm assuming you're working on stuff that's not out yet, right? And we won't get into specifics, but you are working on future content.
That is correct. I cannot get into specifics. We are working on future content.
Well said. Very well said.
All right, well, there go the rest of my questions. All right, I'll be over here if you need me for anything.
But it was funny when you were talking about the beta earlier. So I initially started playing with my 10-year-old son JD, and we actually got to be in a testimonial video, which I think might be out.
Yours isn't up yet. Actually, I got to be in that one too. Or there's 2 that have gone up so far. One's about story, and then there's another one I think about characters or something, or guilds. And so I'm in those 2, but yours is coming. I think.
Well, I think maybe there's a question too, is like because it's a teen-rated game, and so JD's 10, but I play it with him. You know,
Yeah.
And, you know, with MMOs too, it's like you got to be careful about what they get exposed to, but it's better than TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
You know, something like that on Gary's mod.
You got to hide general chat. Don't let them look at that stuff.
But so he was part of the beta because it was like a big deal. Like, hey, do you want to see this early? And he's like, wow, he's still fascinated by all that stuff. And so we played for a while, and then I had to inform him what a character wipe is when they had to wipe all the characters.
Oh god.
So he was like,
boy.
he was like level 11. He's like, they're doing what? I go, yeah, they have to wipe all the characters and reset it. He goes, why? And I said, well, the game's about to come out, and you know, if they let everyone who played the beta just have the same characters, it won't be fair because they all started at level 11. He's like, yeah, well, it wouldn't be fair, but I don't really care. He learned about fairness when you're on the unfair side. He's like, it's actually kind of cool, you know, not being fair.
Were you there for the final wipe, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, like were you dancing in
Well,
Coruscant?
I wasn't dancing. I take that back. I wasn't actually in the server when
Oh,
they
okay.
did the wipe, but I did see the dance videos.
People
and,
look all together and
Yeah, so
jump off the sides of.
yeah, so the Republics went all suicidal, and then the Empire guys, we all just got naked and danced
Are
in the
you serious?
cantina. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
is
Like,
there any footage of this on YouTube?
oh yeah,
yes,
it
yes.
exists. It's funny. Like, so I always roll female characters whenever I play video games. So of course I've got this one girl, you know, dancing in bra and underwear on this countertop, whatever. And so like photos came out. Turns out it happened to be our server we were on, and like people are like highlighting my character dancing around. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool. But,
So you always roll a female character? You
always roll females.
want to talk about it?
No, I enjoy watching a female running around as opposed to watching a dude running around.
I see. Okay.
That's just me though.
Fair
makes
enough.
sense.
Actually,
Yeah, well-
I will say that whoever did the voice of the female bounty hunter is awesome.
Yes.
Like they nailed that character. That's one thing too. Is like, I mean, like Lacey Chabert is Mako, who's who's one of your companions, and it's
Oh
the
yeah,
female
that
companion.
totally makes sense. Yeah.
And like, you know, stuff like that. It's like you don't even think about who it is, but it's like, man, this is a really cool person. You look at it, it's like, oh my god, that's Lacey Chabert. She was in Mean Girls and Party of Five, I think. And
Yeah, she's
other-
Party 5.
And we
Yeah,
have
she's a great voice.
And we have Jennifer Hale as
Yeah.
as our trooper. So that's another thing that's just. I mean, she's just a tremendous voice actress.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, you know, you'd think after some time you get kind of tired of, like, you kind of want to space bar through some stuff and skip it, but it's like I never hit that point. I always wanted to, you know, watch these things, even just like picking up a collection quest. I'm like, I still want to hear this character talk and like the little, you know, nuances of my character, and that's something you don't really experience in other MMOs.
Well, I think the Star Wars franchise in general, just for franchises and entertainment, it has a high degree of ownership by the audience. Like, it's very personal to them, you know. And BioWare already does that. Like, you look at Mass Effect. You guys made a big commitment that Shepard was going to be whatever, you know, the person decided Shepard was going to look like. Female, male, and then, you know, customized. So that kind of makes your boxes and your branding a little bit more difficult, you know. And when I see videos that other people post on YouTube, or like when I watch you play, I have a female bounty hunter as well, so to hear my bounty hunter's voice coming out of your character, I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's, you know, it's like you have a very Star Wars reaction to it of like, I don't approve of this, you know?
Well, even when you grew up with like Flashpoints and you run into someone else who has the same, you know, character type, it's like,
Right.
oh, it's so weird, you know.
Yeah.
So just give me my social points.
Somebody please explain to me how I'm supposed to get to social level 4. Because I'm level 50, I'm at social level 2.
Run flashpoints like crazy. If you're running with JD anyway, you guys should be playing like crazy.
Yeah, we tend not to group up with other people. We tend to, like, father and son just kind of play together. So
Well, even then,
we don't
I mean-
do a lot of heroic 4s, and we don't do a lot of flashpoints.
But even if you're just running like quests together, I mean, you should be getting social points. I think I just hit social 2, and so
Yeah, see, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like at social 2 and midway through. But I'm 100% light, almost.
Oh, yeah?
Almost. I gotta find some places to get some more light points.
yeah, I'm almost dark, almost full dark, almost
Light side
dark
smuggler,
5.
huh?
Yeah, well, I'm playing with my kid, so it's like,
yeah,
and it's
you
great
go.
because it's fun to watch a kid play, and he's like, whenever he watches me play, and it's like the smuggler, there's all those flirt options, and he's like, I select that, and he goes, why would you do that? he was like, forget that, and then
Women,
also,
ew.
yeah, exactly, he's still at that stage, and when a moral choice comes up, he always chooses the good thing. He won't like do anything mean or cruel.
There's some people who play like that. Like when I play a character in any game, I can't be evil. I can't pickpocket. I can't steal. I just can't do it. It's like a moral issue that I have.
I'm the same way.
Yeah?
I saw when I was in general chat when I was playing in the beta, I was in the what's the hut where the first thing for the bounty hunter in Hutta. Is that where you are? Yeah. And somebody in general chat just goes, dude, I just shot a guy in front of his kid. I don't know how I feel about that. And I was like, I remember that choice, and I didn't choose to do that. You know, that the guy went through that, but he was having a moral dilemma, like a moment of clarity there on general chat.
You'll find the most interesting stuff on the the polar opposite. So you play Jedi and dark side Jedi, or you play a Jedi that leans towards the dark side, or you play a smuggler that leans towards the dark side, or conversely an agent that leans towards the light side.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on there. Like I tend to play my agent towards the light side. And there's, it's really interesting just to see the dynamic of you're playing this really dark character, and all of a sudden they're doing something that really kind of goes against the grain of the story itself. But it's a lot of interesting stuff comes out of that. So
There's also
without giving away too much.
Yeah, there's also gear that requires you to be light side or
Right.
dark side.
Right,
so,
right.
if you're in a guild of nothing but Sith, jerks, and you roll light side, it's like, no one else is going to be going for that gear. So
Oh, that's you play like the relics if they show up or something like that.
Yeah. So,
That's really interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah, you can suddenly qualify for gear nobody else
but
can
I will
get.
say, there's nothing better than going to a flashpoint, and when it pops up with like a choice, like kill the captain or let him survive or whatever, and everyone else rolls the opposite of you and you win. That's the best thing ever.
Nice.
It's like I want to murder the guy, and everyone else is like, no, let him live. And I roll the highest and take him out. It's awesome.
Because in a party, what happens is you all choose something, and then it does a roll,
It's a random roll
Yeah.
on each character. Yeah.
and then whoever gets the roll, that's what it shows to everybody.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
they
right.
Get in some cases, choose the path you're going to take from that point on. So
Oh, the subsequent choices. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
like Black Talon, which is the Empire's first flashpoint. There's literally a split where it's like you kill this guy or you let him live, and depending on what you do, things are different.
Oh, that's true.
So you fight a different boss, basically.
Well, that's kind of cool in the sense that you still get your dark side points, but then you get to see the other storyline too.
if you don't win the roll, yes.
Yeah.
You still get your dark side points if you select it, though, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So
Yeah.
pretty neat. But,
Well, Paul, we have had a ton of fun with the game, and
Awesome.
we appreciate your long hours,
Sure.
and time away from your family. And anyway, thanks for stopping by and coming to see us.
Sure.
And hopefully, when new stuff comes out, maybe you can come by again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
so Old Republic is out now. Go pick it up and buy it. If you want to join the Drunk Tanks, which is the Sith Guild of the official Rooster Teeth Sith Guild, you can join us. We're on the Shadowland server. And So
Okay.
drop Inshallah line.
Yes, you can help me get my bounty hunter best level 10.
Absolutely.
I would appreciate it.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.